Hello, everyone. Welcome to FPL BlackBox ahead of game week 28. Feels like I haven't done one of these in ages. Feels like we've just left everything to Andy over the last few weeks to run solo and do his little solo streams. So I'm joined by him, and of course we are joined by Mr. Luke Williams, who hasn't been on in ages. Luke, how are you doing? Been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, hasn't it? I can't even remember when the last one was, to be fair. I'm letting you guys down, sorry.
Months, I think. Christmas time, before Christmas, something like that.
I think FPL is just generally depressing, though, isn't it? I know you feel me as, so I think that gets me down. It's like, do I really want to go and talk about it? I suppose I do.
Yep, I feel that more than anyone. Andy, you, on the other hand, have had a meteoric rise since we last... You were stuck around the 1.2, 1.3 million. Look at you now, up to 400k. You're top of all three of us.
I know. Yeah, I don't know how that's happened. Was it 5 weeks ago I was 1.3 million?
Yep.
I mean, Nico O'Reilly's probably got a bit to say to that. I don't know, Captain Enzo Fernandez when everything was going wrong. I don't know. It's funny how it happens, isn't it? Silly game.
We were talking earlier, weren't we? We've got, I think, like 8 of the same players, but you've just seemed to be getting points from like your Mukielis, your O'Reillys, your Hills. All the little side guys have been coming in for you, and that's what's done it. All you need is a couple of players, a little bit less owned than others, and you can make some pretty big rises.
My side piece game is strong compared to you, as what can I say?
I don't know about that.
Listening to that.
No, that's not true either. It's not true.
I love you. Please don't leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just how it happens. Like I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I, that I just had no luck for the first half of the season. Second half of the season seemed to be getting a bit lucky. Like O'Reilly, I held through him being irrelevant, and now he's the poster boy for the stream tonight. So just how it happens sometimes.
I mean, you both got him. We're going to talk quite a lot about O'Reilly in this stream. Luke, you're Mr. Man City, despite being a Man United fan. You obviously liked him when he was at left back. He's now moved into midfield. You must be loving what you're seeing from him at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only piece of joy I've had in recent times, like Andy said. So it's nice to get something. And it is, it is crazy how it works because like a lot of people were moving him out, right? And then suddenly he gets like a tactical shift. And he's talk of the town again. Great games coming up. So, yeah, it's nice because also I think this season, like to get a brace from a defender is like just a complete outlier. Like I know we've had defenders score quite a lot this year in general for people, but I haven't really had too many myself. I think Michael Keane scored me a couple of goals. That's about it. But then to get a brace, that's just extremely rare in it. So, yeah, a bit of fun to have back with FPL for once.
Yeah. Well, we talk about him because should we be buying him? Obviously, they've got that probable blank coming up, not fully confirmed yet, but need to know if it's worth moving for him or moving like some of the other players. I mean, Luke, you're having a weird season because you hit a high of 270k in game week 17. I think you'd had like. I don't think you have. I'm literally looking at it now. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You had 9 in 10 green arrows. You went from 2.3 million to 278k, and now you've had 7 red arrows. We had 7 red arrows in a row, and then a couple of greens. So you're having the most like inconsistently consistent season. You seem to be getting like green after green or red after red.
I can't even explain it. Like a lot of the sort of model sites have posted the reviews and stuff and the stats I've looked through, and like captains have just been a massive letdown for me the whole season. Like again, I'm like bottom percentage, like all over the place, despite pretty much only captaining like who I consider that everyone else is captain, like Haaland or something. It's like I'm not doing anything crazy, but I had Salah at the beginning and then I switched to Haaland, and I just seem to have avoided all the points, and that's been a big issue, I guess. And then, yeah, I mean, you already said about the side pieces, right? It's a game of side pieces now. Like, literally everyone owns 7 or 8 of the same players. Everyone captains the same player, generally, I would say. Even the lines blur, don't they, between, content creators, casuals, analytics. They're all largely picking the same players these days. So, it's a game of those few little side pieces, and mine just haven't been any good. They've been rubbish. And O'Reilly was probably the first time that something happened aside from Michael Keane in my season that was different than most other people.
I mean, called the stream side piece.
Could have done, yeah. I mean, I held Van Dijk for like 14 weeks, and then I sort of got rid of him a couple of weeks ago, and he goes on scoring 2 ridiculous sort of scores back to back. And yeah, the timing's just been bad, and it's all about timing, isn't it? We've all had the right players, I'm sure, but quite often at the wrong times.
My timing has been unbelievably poor. just feels like every player I've got on has just not delivered, or I've owned a player like Enzo putting in good stats and he hasn't delivered, and then I've missed him scoring like 2-3 times in a row, bring him back in, and then he blanks like 3 times in a row. I mean, honestly, I'll do a list at the end of the season when we do the the review of all the players I've owned, which have just seemed like quite good picks, but just have been absolutely appalling for me. It's been a really weird season, and ironically, the player that everyone seems to be annoyed about, in Elliot Anderson, has been the one good player I've had all year, and he's causing a load of division in the community. But yeah, we've done quite a lot on DEFCON and stuff, so I don't think we'll go into that in this episode. But at the moment, Elliot Anderson is the one going on the wall. So that tells you enough, I think.
Literally the only player in the game that has got guaranteed points. So even you couldn't mess that one up, as.
I know. And you told me to get him in right at the start of the season. I went for Gibbs White instead. Yeah, could be very different. Let's take a bit of a look back on game week 27. It does feel like game week 28 is an interesting week, because obviously we've got quite a few fixture changes happening. People are starting to look at, the Palace players or Arsenal players like Enzo, because of Chelsea's fixtures turning, and people have got transfers banked, or they're looking to make like other transfers or something like that. So yeah, this is an interesting one. I think this is a pivotal time in our season. But yeah, 57 points for you, Luke, last week. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I suppose, like we just said, the two pieces that not a lot of people have got were Munoz and O'Reilly. Munoz with 9, O'Reilly with 17. Had Raya and Gabriel for 3 and 2. Rodgers has been really disappointing for a long time. I actually got him after he got points as well, just because they've had... I mean, we know why you get a player like Rodgers. It's 90 minutes in the front three. They had good games for a long period of time. His stats weren't particularly good, but they've never been good. He's always found a way to get something. And I think outside of maybe 1 goal, I don't think I've got any points from him. So 2 again. Bruno with 2. That doesn't really matter. Everyone's got him. Rice, I think most people have got him or close. Got his DEFCON as usual. The expensive Elliot Anderson. Enzo, similar to you, has just been a real disappointment over the good fixtures. He's been pretty good to me in general, but over that period of the 4 best games they had, he's pretty much done nothing, which has been disappointing. Ndai's another one as well, where it's similar to Rodgers, I guess, just a long period of half decent games. He's in the front three. I don't have to worry about his minutes. We know he's on penalties. He scored 1 penalty and just literally got 2 points every week. And I can't even complain with him because his stats are absolutely terrible as well. So basically got what I deserve there. Thiago and Haaland, 2 and 12. Haaland with the captain armband, that's why he's got 12. So pretty boring team, really.
O'Reilly 17.
I think we're deserved there, though. I mean, there's been a lot of times where O'Reilly should have gone a lot more points. I mean, particularly the Chelsea game where I think he was max bonus and a clean sheet, and they conceded a goal in the 97th minute or something. There's been a few other times as well where I really think he should have got more. So I don't know, it's almost like the redemption arc for him for this game. It's just nice when it comes like that, and it's sad when you miss them. I mean, I did it with Van Dijk. I had him for ages, and the redemptions happened these last 2 weeks, right? Sometimes you have to be patient with a player long enough, and eventually they'll come through.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't had obviously Mukiele, Van de Ven, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Alderete. There's loads of defenders who have hit these big scores, but I just haven't managed to hit any of them. You did on this one. Andy, you had the same. You had O'Reilly as well. So I'm joined by 2 O'Reilly owners. Just to rub it in. I can't believe you didn't sell him ages ago. You were talking about selling him every week when we were doing these streams.
It's funny, like Luke said earlier about timing. There's been times this season where I've had 3-4 transfers in the bank. The last 4 or 5 weeks, I've only had 1 free transfer and used it each time. If I'd have had 2 or 3, I'd have probably ditched O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably for Munoz actually, which that would have been a good move based on the fixtures. But actually, when you look at the points they've got, it obviously would have hurt quite considerably. But it was just as well I had O'Reilly this week because it was quite a poor week otherwise, to be perfectly honest. Raya in goal with 3. Mukiele, who went off after 13 minutes injured. I really fancied him in that fixture. But they did then go on to concede 3, so it didn't hurt too much. Gabriel with 2, O'Reilly with 17, Rodgers with 2, Rice with 4, Enzo with 2, Bruno with 2. Brought in Thiago for Krupi Jr., saved up money to do that move this week. Obviously, everybody was predicting a Brentford win, weren't they, and Brighton then walk away with 2-0.
Amazing.
Haaland crossing the ball in for O'Reilly to score to get me my assist as captain. And I think it was about 130% EO this week. So it was quite fun having him as captain in a way. And then Ekitike with 2, who, if he could head the ball, would have had about an extra 3 goals in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, 49 points, and I think it was about 20k greens. So that's 5 greens in a row. So I'm not going to complain with getting green arrows, but it was a weird one with O'Reilly. It felt like he was the reason I actually had an okay week, but at the same time, it feels a bit like a wasted point sometimes when you've got a massive haul from a defender, but you don't really gain anything from it. But he stopped me having a massive red arrow, so I'm not going to complain.
Well, that's true. If that was a 2-pointer for whatever other player you had there, you'd be on like 32 points, right? And
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been a killer week.
Would have been an absolute killer. It was your only return. I mean, you got 2 points from Rice for the DEFCON, but other than that, Haaland.
It's Haaland, isn't it? Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, absolutely nothing. Some point out in the chat, we've got 6 of the 7 front three, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to claw 100 points back on you if we've all got the same?
And can I just say though, if you go back on my team, if you look at the debates that we're having a lot at the moment, look at all those Rodgers, Enzo, Bruno, Ekatike, Thiago getting 2, and then look at my DEFCON boys on the bench. Anderson with 5, Hill with 6, Anderson with 4. All those extra 2, 3, 4 points make a difference to your game week, don't they?
Well, that's it. I'm just playing Anderson every week, and 5 points again for him. And actually, I think he could have a bigger score coming over the next few weeks because definitely the most advanced I've seen him play in the Premier League, I think. And he was like camped out in the box. He was like having shots. He looked like a man possessed. And
yet he's still got 17 DEFCON in 76 minutes. He didn't even play the whole game.
Yeah, he is a wonderful player. I mean, I got 45. Obviously, the subject of ridicule was my transfer this week, which, yeah, I mean, wasn't great, was it? let's be honest.
There's not many times where I've seen you do a move and thought, "Oh my god!" I was genuinely shocked you did the move.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did Verbruggen to Kelleher. I did the Brighton goalkeeper to the Brentford goalkeeper. The reason I did it was because I basically decided that I wasn't going to wildcard over the next few weeks, and I'm still on that at the moment. And I looked at the fixtures for Verbruggen coming up, and they look horrendous. So I was like, well, at some point I'm going to have to transfer him out because I can't have him playing like Liverpool, City. Although he's not getting any points anyway, let alone in some of those games. So I'll just do it early, get it out of the way, and then if I need to take a hit down the line, I honestly thought Brentford would win that game. Yeah. I thought it would be. I think I predicted 2-0. I just thought. This just seems like if Kelleher gets the 6 and Verbruggen gets the 2, then that's paid for any hit that comes down the line. What I didn't see for happening was a 7-pointer for Verbruggen. Could have been more as well. I think his save at the end didn't count because it was like a...
Oh, because it was off his own player, wasn't it? Yeah.
And if that had counted, he would have gone up to 3 bonus, and there was all talk about that. So it could have been worse, but... Yeah, I mean, at this rank, obviously I'm like 2.5 million after 28 weeks. It's absolutely appalling. And yeah, I mean, rightly people said, you should be looking to make bigger moves and taking out, players. But I quite like the team, how it was set up. Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, Fernandes, Rice, Enzo, Anderson, Thiago, Haaland, Ekatike. I can't believe, again, that only got one attacking return, and that was from Haaland. That's the only attacking return in the whole team.
I don't want to rub it in, but it does seem a bit crazy to do that move, doesn't it? Regardless of the result, like even if it had got the clean sheet, I know you don't want to hear it, but it is definitely the time to be saving transfers, and it's like because we're getting all the information in the next couple of weeks, aren't we? And the doubles are happening. So
yeah, but
when you've got Devaney and Goodmanson on your bench, it's like
yeah, but the wild card's happening, isn't it? That's
well,
the
not
thing.
for you. You just said it weren't.
Well, it's happening in 32. So it's just looking at like the next 6, really. And I genuinely thought that it could still happen, but I thought the Brentford goalkeeper with the run they had would outscore the Brighton goalkeeper by 4 points. And if that happens, then the transfer's worth it. But it's not going to happen now because he's already like 5 behind and Brentford look terrible again. So, well, you might. I'm sorry, Brentford fans.
You might still win from that move. It's just more when you've got like people want to get rid of Rice now, they want to get rid of Enzo. You've got 31 coming up where we don't know for sure who blanks, but there's a good idea. Devaney as well is like a dead pick. I don't know. Anyway, there's no point dwelling on it now.
Not proud of it, but yeah, it's.
But you're going to own it.
Yeah, I think the thing is that I've been really slow to like just sort out problematic players, and I know he's a goalkeeper, but he has been a problem. We had 1 clean sheet in 12 matches. All the other option is Dubravka, so I just thought I'd just get a nice new goalkeeper in. But yeah, it was terrible. Thank God for Munoz though, getting 9, because if he hadn't got that, then Who knows where the DEFCON was? I mean, they miss a penalty and then he gets DEFCON. I talk about getting unlucky at times, but that was a very, very lucky 9 points.
Did you have him last week as well, though, Az?
Yeah, I had him last week. I bought him in last week for the 1 pointer.
He was unlucky in that game.
Yeah, he got actually like 1, didn't he? Or something like that. Like
over 1, I think, yeah.
Yeah. It gets worse. I mean, look at this. Great and the good. Everyone nestled in the top 1 million.
Luke's fourth.
This mug over here.
Well, I'm not
Luke,
fourth.
No, you're not fourth. You're about 600k.
You give me some extra points there, but I'll take it.
I've given you so many extra points. Well, Greyhead has. You're down in... You'll be below FPL Fraser, right?
I've got no idea. 1539 I've got.
I wonder why Greyhead's put you in fourth.
He obviously really likes you, Luke.
Yeah, have you been giving him a little bit of a backhander?
Oh.
I'm not getting involved in that combo.
we're all bottom half of the table. Let's put it that way. And you are creeping up. I mean, you're just behind Joe now. You're about 7 points off him. How many points are you off Mark? About 30 points off Mark. He's at 160k. Yeah, I mean and how far are you off the top 100k? About 40 points, 50 points.
Yeah, something like that. That's all right. Not too bad. With wildcard, bench boost, and free hit in your back pocket, I think you've got to fancy having quite a big rise after 32. I know a lot of people will do it, but I think you've got to back yourself to. I want to try and get top 100k again.
Yeah. Well, after last year, I think you should do it. Do it. Yep. Right then, let's take a look at some talking points. We've got loads of stats, loads of tables, loads of things, but I thought what we would start with is just a talk on O'Reilly. We've got Luke on the show. People want to hear Luke's thoughts on City. You touched on it a little bit when we first started, Luke, but what do you make of O'Reilly's role? I mean, the big question that most people listening are going to want to know is like, should we be thinking of buying him? I know there's the blank coming up, but is this like a Lundstrom type where we can make excuses not to get him? But realistically, they've got what? Forest, West Ham, and Leeds in the next 3 games.
Yeah, the games are good.
Can he get 2 goals again in any of those games? What do you think? Essential, must, or do we wait?
Well, I think on that regard, can he get more goals? Of course he can, but I mean, do you remember at the beginning of the season when Reinders basically did it, game week 1, and then didn't do anything for about 6 weeks, playing in a similar position? So it's one thing having the position, it's another to actually convert on it, isn't it? So, the best players in the world don't score every single week. Just look at Haaland. So I don't think you need to be worried about it. I do think he's obviously like one of the top defender picks in the game if he's going to continue to play that position. And he's going to continue to play. It's just, you've obviously got that blank coming up potentially, and it might not actually be a blank, right? But I think there's a decent chance that it is. So you have to factor that in, whether you can carry that or not. And then the Forest game's like 3 days or 4 days. It's a midweek game, isn't it? And then they've got Newcastle in the Cup, I think, on the Saturday. So I don't have any doubts around him continuing to play that role, because I think Pep's found the setup. I think everything in the team at the moment is just geared towards using the fullbacks for the width, like getting everyone in the centre, picking players that can win the duels. It's all to cover like the frailties that they've had the whole of last season and again at the beginning of this season. You've got to get people in that are physical, they've got the legs. And you look at the players that have come in like Mark Gay, Semenyo. He's picking all the people that can battle. You fill the team out with your Fodens, your Cherkis, Nunes, Rico Lewis, like Ait-Nouri. Suddenly it's like the meta's just not around these kind of players anymore. Man City's backroom staff it's all geared towards like physicality, duels, transitions to become better in that area, and the signings match up with it. So I just think it's taken him a while to find it, and I think Reinders was the one who was supposed to do it, but he's just not really performing like defensively as well as O'Reilly is. So I think the position's his for now, and I think if you can find a way to get him in, then fine. But it's just you have to worry about that blank, and then with that midweek game. Yeah,
do you think he starts all 3?
I think there's a decent chance. The problem when it's like 2 or 3 days and you've got other players that can play it, then he could play them all. I think he could, but would you be surprised? Like, you can't sit here categorically ever and say, can you? Like, you'd be crazy to say, it doesn't matter who you are, that you can predict Pep's team this week, let alone next week, the week after, or the week after, right? All I can really say is the mantra seems to be around what I've just said, getting the physical players in, the jewelers, the ones who, and when they're performing, Pep used to have it where when they were dominating the league, right, and they had so many good players, he would set up his team differently every week depending on who the opponent is, because they were just so dominant. He would, all right, this is the best plan for this team and this player. Whereas a lot of what he does recently is more fixing problems or trying to get the team to perform overall rather than the opponent. And when he finds like a system that works, he generally kind of sticks with it. You know, we've had a few iterations already, but like the Foden example is pretty good, right? He like didn't start the season, then it started going wrong. He brought Foden in and used him in the centre. It worked really well for a period, and then it stopped working and went off the boil, and now he's gone. And it's like right now, it's hard to see him change the setup for any game. It's just, does O'Reilly need a rest at some point? If he does, then maybe Reinders could come in. But I think if that would happen, it'd probably more likely be the FA Cup game or not at all. So I think I'm pretty confident that he'll continue to play. I mean, why you couldn't not play him the way he's playing at the moment, right? You say that.
He's the key, yeah. He's the key player. I mean, look at this heat map, Andy. I mean, he's there in number 33. You've got Haaland basically average position around the same area as him. It's Marmoush, isn't it? Who's playing as the most front forward player. When you look at this heat map and think it's a Man City defender, top defence, top team, playing in this out of position role that we've seen so many players like excel in, like in the past in our FPL seasons. You've both got him, I haven't. I've got to be worried, haven't I?
The biggest thing is obviously the blank in 31, which, like Luke's alluded to, it's more than likely going to happen that they blank in 31. So that is probably stopping him being the most bought player this week. And obviously, if that wasn't there, rightly so.
He is the most bought player this week.
He is still. So
I'm pretty sure.
But I think the people bringing him in, whether they're all looking at 31 and thinking I can handle it and it doesn't matter. The thing I think is quite interesting is that we have been saying all year that obviously the DEFCON boys are killing it and everybody's buying the DEFCON boys because they don't have those wing backs that are doing something. I love the fact this week people are going to be sat there with Timber thinking, who do I move out for Timber? And obviously Van Dijk's the main man most people are thinking of. But O'Reilly, obviously, like you said, is the most bought defender. I think there's a real debate now as to which one's a better pick. One of them's got a blank in 31. One of them is playing in this 10 role that's obviously getting goals. The other one is getting goals and assists, but obviously, he's not supposed to be doing it as much as he maybe is. But he's also, getting DEFCON. He's probably better for clean sheet. So I think it's good because this is what we should be having more this season, but we haven't had to have it. Whereas now we've actually got it. I think it's still a tough one because of that blank game week, but for 3 weeks with the fixtures they've got, Leeds, Forest and West Ham, who's to say he can't carry on doing what he's doing? And I think you're going to be, so you aren't an owner, you're going to be looking at our two teams every week and going, oh God, I wish I owned O'Reilly. I think you are, aren't you? Whereas if you got Van Dijk?
No.
So have you got plans to get either of them this week? You haven't, have you?
Yeah, well, I've got lots of plans. I've got lots of things that I'll talk about in a bit. There's 3 options I'm considering. One of them involves Van Dijk, one of them involves O'Reilly, and then one of them involves getting neither of them. I mean, the thing with Van Dijk, and we'll talk about him a bit later, but it's a 17-pointer against Sunderland. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't think anyone was really expecting such a big haul given Sunderland's home form. It's their first loss, wasn't it, at home? And then 11 points against Forest. I mean, he gets a last-minute assist. I don't really care. I mean, I don't like VAR as it is. I don't want them to be checking all this stuff. I don't really understand how they're using it. I've seen it so many times. Looked offside. Still looks offside to me. I don't really understand what was going on there. But I think he was a bit fortuitous with that assist for that to be given. Their next XG conceded of 1.19 against Forest. I thought Forest were absolutely superb in that game. And he has had large periods of the season where he's really, really struggled to deliver for owners. So the fixtures are amazing. I do imagine there's some more clean sheets in there. He'll probably hit DEFCON in a few games. But if I'm picking one of O'Reilly or Van Dijk, I think I'm going for the upside with O'Reilly. And he's a bit cheaper as well. I'm more worried about not owning O'Reilly than I am Van Dijk. Let's put it that way.
I think as well, with the fact that most people will wildcard in 32, you're only really going to be getting his differential points for the next 3 weeks. Because in 32, if he carries on doing anything like he's doing now, as soon as that blank's gone, everybody's going to own him in 32, you would have thought. So I know that obviously shouldn't stop you from buying him in 32. That's not what I'm saying, but I think he's a good buy for those 3 weeks. It's just if you can cover him in 31, isn't it?
I mean, his stats over the last 6. I mean, if you look at his XG per 90, it's 0.21, right? And that is it's pretty second. No, it's like 4th or 5th in terms of this. No, it's not even the top 10. Sorry, because he hasn't got the purple bar. He's not even the top 10 for XG not per 90 out of defenders. Obviously, his points per 90 is really high, 6.91. That's what happens when you get a 17 pointer. But Luke, you said this earlier, right? It's hard to bank on a player, especially anyone, getting regular goals. The stats don't indicate that he's having loads of great quality chances. He's getting into good positions, but not always receiving the ball. You did a tweet, didn't you, recently, where you said he looks like he's getting into really dangerous places, but the ball isn't falling for him. You look at these numbers and think, okay, 0.21. Again, we've seen attacking defenders, midfielders. We look for 0.3, 0.4 as a minimum. Does 0.21? Does that mean anything? Is his positioning good enough that the stats don't really matter, or is it a bit of a problem that he's not having?
Well, first of all, I think he's only really played that role in the last 3 Premier League games. He played it Fulham for sure, Newcastle, and then he did play at Liverpool, but slightly more reserved. And obviously Liverpool are a harder team as well. So I think when you're looking at 6, you're going to cut that out. So it's going to be higher, for sure, because I know it was something like 0.5 or 6 when I looked at the last game. So it's definitely
he scored 2 goals in the last game with an XG of 0.4.
Yeah. He's not going to... One of them was a decent left foot finish, wasn't it? And the other one was a header coming on for a cross. Headers generally pretty low XG overall, I think. Well, depends where you're heading from, obviously. But his was quite far out in the end once Haaland's crossed it. Yes, like I said, I think he's a good pick, a good player to have. But sometimes the skill in fantasy football is saying I don't have to rip my team up and get it, and I have to play logically, and I have to look at 31 and think he's going to blank. And there's a world where O'Reilly plays in midfield, gets no defcons, they concede, and he doesn't score or assist. That is, as much as people may not think that's possible, that is probably more likely because most players blank most weeks. So sometimes you have to let someone go, then you can get them later. And I think this is why I think it's very easy to sit on the fence on this one and say, if your team is in a position where you can handle the chance that he might not play 31 and you're going to wildcard 32, then by all means. Otherwise, I think you really have to think about it. And maybe you're going to suffer. Maybe you'll get some points in those games, but there's plenty of other good picks that can also get points as well, right? So... yeah, if he continues for the rest of the season in that role, then it just becomes an absolute no-brainer, right? People had him at left back when he was bombing forward, and he was within the team. Even if he was doing nothing, he was just starting every game for City at 5 million. You have to consider it. We've all had City picks before. If they're sort of around that price in our team, because you're getting a top 5 or 6 defence for such a cheap price. So. Yeah.
Do you think there's much between? So if you had Timber, do you think there's much between Van Dijk and O'Reilly? Because I think if I had Timber and didn't own either, I think Van Dijk's clear for me because he's got that fixture in 31. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I'd pick Van Dijk as well.
Yeah. See, I'm going the other way, and
here we go.
That tells you all you need to know. Well, again, O'Reilly's a bit of the differential, isn't he? He's 7% compared to Van Dijk's 25% owned now, isn't he? So, Van Dijk is just. I mean, we said at the start of the season, didn't we, Andy? We were like, he's going to be
S tier.
S tier. He was our only S tier pick.
Yeah.
I think hasn't really happened, but last couple of weeks it has. Okay, well let's finish on that then. So let's get you haven't got O'Reilly. You've got a couple of free transfers. Would you use one of those transfers to bring him in this week? I'll go for you, Andy.
If I didn't have Van Dijk, I'd prioritise Van Dijk, like I said just then. But it's a tough one with O'Reilly. I just think I'd prioritise Van Dijk.
Yeah, and you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, boring.
Yeah, very boring. O'Reilly's he just seems the kind of player that you're just not going to buy, and then he's going to score again against Leeds, and then have Forest at home and get a clean sheet, and you're just going to be like, well, obviously, why didn't I bring in the out of position City defender?
Yeah, he's a great pick, but how many good picks have played for Man City in that spot? I mean, Foden literally played that spot for about 10 weeks and did nothing.
Well, true.
Better attacking players who have got better ability of finding the back of the net, like Foden, like a Gundogan, like that. blank for weeks for Man City in the same position. And it's not to put a downer on it, it's just to be realistic for people. Like the chances, even if he's playing that position, he gets a lot of chances. The chances of him scoring a brace in another game are still extremely slim.
Yeah.
But he could get a goal or assist. He could get a couple of attacking turns over 3, and it'll be a good pick.
Well, look at all the other players that have scored braces. Look at Van de Ven. Look at Mukiele got a goal in there. Like, all the players that have scored big points, like 17-point hauls. How many times have they gone on and scored another one of those? I think Chow might be the only one who's gone on and scored another like big haul.
I think Gabriel did it back to back, didn't he? When he came
Gabriel
back,
doesn't count
when he came back from injury, but
it
doesn't tell you anything, does it?
No.
The points are gone. Is he a good pick moving forward? Yes. Do you need to get him right this week? It completely depends on your team.
Okay. Very reserved, very measured advice. The models hate him. I had a look at Solio, had a look at Review, look at Scouts. The models don't like him.
They won't have adapted to the new role, will they? That's where you need to have that in the back of your mind. But also, it's good to be reserved in that way because he might not play every game and then he might revert to a different role and he doesn't get DEFCONs. And so he's never going to pick up particularly highly until it's like a consistent thing.
Yeah, there's a cross of the XGI numbers not being amazing and the minutes as well.
Yeah, XGI over the last 2 is I just looked at 0.43 and 0.48 in the last 2 games, which I think is more telling. If that continues and he continues to play in that role, I think his XGI can shoot
it's
up.
high, but I mean the overperformance on that is massive because he's got 3 goals with an XGI of less than 1. So pick your narrative. Is he overperforming on the numbers, or is this a sign of things to come and he's gonna kick on from there? Good chat. Good. Let's talk about Manchester United. Mr. Andrew North, we finally get to talk about your team playing really well. Another win.
It's nice, isn't
looking good. Team's playing well. He's got a very settled squad, although Sesko's making a real case now for a start. You've got to think he's going to come to the team sooner or later, surely.
Yeah, at some point you think so. Probably for Ahmad because he's struggled a little bit recently. I think it's fantastic that United have an option off the bench. I mean, I can't remember the last time we've had a really good option off the bench that's done as well as he's done and performed so well. I think Mbumo's been great. I think Cunha's fantastic. Honestly, I absolutely love watching him play. The pass from him to set Mbumo free to then to cross it across the field to Sesko. Do you know the player that I worried the most about us missing on Monday was Lissandro Martinez? Because he genuinely comes forward with the ball and he delivers that ball so well from the back, and we really missed that. And you could see it all the way through the game that we just missed that player. We just had no control in the middle of the field at all, and neither did Everton either, to be fair. But I think I haven't seen an update on him yet. Obviously, Yoro came in and did well defensively, but he's not the same passer as he is. It was really interesting watching us kind of grind a 1-0 win away from home, which I can't remember. It was horrible watching those corners over and over again. But
Lampard did so well.
He was brilliant.
So well.
Yeah.
What
Even Moyes came out and said how well he did. So no, I thought it was great. I think Sesko, you can't obviously trust him yet because unfortunately he's kind of got that label of super sub at the moment and he's making an unbelievable impact when he comes off the bench. But I do think it's close him starting. I think they'll just go with Cunha and Mbumo and Bruno behind him, probably in the next game, to be perfectly honest. Ahmad looks like he needs to rest and to come on and be that super sub himself. So yeah, I can see it coming. In terms of FPL assets, Bruno's looked a little bit off recently. He hasn't been as creative as he normally is. He's playing in the 10, obviously, and he's great like that. But obviously, I'm not saying sell him, but he has looked a little bit off. I do still think, though, Mbumo's the one for me in terms of FPL. I love Cunha, but Mbumo's the other one I would buy. Bruno's still number 1. Mbumo's second for me. And with fixtures as well, Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle away, but Newcastle are not great at the moment in terms of putting up much of a resilience. They play in 31. They're not bad assets to buy, but when you're looking at Mbumo, because most people own Bruno, there's so many cheap midfielders that are just unbelievable value that also play in 31. Players like Harry Wilson, Ryan, we've got the Brentford boy Dango as well. I don't think I'd be going for him over any of those if I wanted to free up some funds. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I think Bruno's still enough, but yeah.
Very good. Very good roundup. Luke, you happy? You happy with things? I did a bit of digging into Man United attack, pre-Amorim versus the new breed. I thought this was actually quite interesting. I mean, we have spoken about it before. I mean, the United attack under Amorim was actually really good. It scored 38 goals. over those 22 weeks. An XG of 40.6. That was second best in the league. I think only Man City were putting higher numbers up than that. An XG penalty of 1.85. Their delta was 2.6. That was the 16th worst in the league. So in terms of goals compared to XG, they were lowest. And really, things have got worse under Carrick, which seems really weird. I mean, they've scored 10 goals. That's fourth in the league. That's great. But XG 6.12. That's 16th in the league. So they're now massively overperforming on the XG data, whereas before it was the complete opposite way around. It doesn't feel like that when you're watching them. It still feels like there's more routes to points and players know their positions and the general attacking play seems better. But
it's the danger of the smaller sample, isn't it? And especially when you've got, I think Man City and Arsenal are in those games as well, where I know we ended up getting the results there. But they're always going to be tough games where it's hard to put up decent stats, aren't they? Ironically, we look better in those games than we have versus the worst sides, but that's been a problem for Man United for a long time. I think, like Andy alluded to it there, I think like the next step for Carrick is to start looking at the games and thinking, well, Ahmad's better as like a transition player versus these teams, and we need to get Sesko in for, like, for example, home to Palace as like a number 9, and Mboma doesn't really suit those games as well as a number 9. So maybe that's where it will start to go, that he rotates based on the opponent. Because at the moment it seems, I think, has he played like the same 11 every single game in charge, or very close?
Apart from Lissandro, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously he's a big miss as well, right? I mean, you saw it with Man City when they had their defenders injured and they had to rely on Allian and Ake at the back and stuff. They just fell apart like straight away. Like getting your build-up right at the back is so important. And Liverpool have had the same problems this season, right? The team's not clicked properly until Konate has basically sorted himself out. Like, it's just been a real struggle. If you haven't got that base that can build up with the ball, you're just going to struggle. So hopefully he's back. Palace are in a bad shape at the moment. Like Man United picks are still pretty good. I actually think that there's a decent conversation around whether Bruno is actually worse in the 10 than he is in like.
It's funny that, isn't it? Everyone calling for him to play in the 10 for FPL. We're going to break the game. And 0.08 is XGI in that last game. The worst he's put in all year.
No DEFCONs.
I don't think he is worse. I just think that the spread of his points has changed, right? In terms of before, because you had defensive contributions, you had like a tighter knit. He would generally get some points, but it wouldn't be like a huge haul. Whereas now he's in a position where he could easily get 2s like he has done, because if he doesn't get that attacking return, he's not getting the defensive contributions. But if he gets a goal or an assist, he's more likely to get those in that position. So you're probably going to see 2-2-2 haul, 2-2-2 haul more often with Bruno. Like, obviously he's still going to pick up bits and pieces because he takes set pieces, but the distribution's kind of changed for that player now.
Do you think he's harder to captain as well? Because obviously, I think a lot of people would have been eyeing up this fixture because they've got Crystal Palace at home. I think a lot of people would have been eyeing him up this week. I think he's quite hard to captain at the moment. I don't have a lot of
Good
faith
to you say
in
that,
him.
Andy. I've got him captain at the moment. That's
Oh,
nice.
God. I think it's tougher with him.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe. It's just for me, Haaland's always... It's not like Haaland's really doing much either, right? And
that's my thing. That's my thoughts on it.
I was going to ask you about Haaland. Do you think Haaland's role's changed as well? Because
I've seen
he
a lot of
seems
people
to be,
say that.
Yeah.
I get what they're saying, but again, it's a small sample. I think it's just a product of when you're playing with more of a 2 up front. Like when you're up front on your own and it's Haaland, we all know that he touched the ball like 10 times in a game, right? It's hard to find that player. You see it with Arsenal with Gyökeres. You see it with a lot of teams trying to find their centre forward. If they're told to be the main man up front to put the final touch on the ball, they don't really get involved in the play, and it's hard to find them. And now he's got a setup where someone's closer to him, and he hasn't really got wingers. So it's the setup that I think they wanted to start the season. We started to see at the back end of last season with Marmoush and him, or at least another forward. So you've almost got the 2 forward setup, which gives him more space, right? Because you've got someone else who can take the centre backs away. I think that's the idea. So yeah, you're going to see him come deep a little bit, especially with Marmoush because he's better running forward. Semenyo, it might be the other way if Semenyo plays up front with him. But I don't think there's anything to worry about because at the moment it's just fell where Haaland's ended up a little bit more of the build-up and the distraction. But there's plenty of times you saw that Man City were bursting through and it could have been Haaland, could have been anyone else, or he was also one of the players that could have been passed to. So I think it's just a product of what we've seen in the last few games. And then, there's going to be games now where Haaland's the one who's getting put through and he's going to get all those chances as well. I can't see it changing. I still think he's absolutely fine. And hopefully that forward player that's with him is just going to be a distraction to help him get, more space in the box occasionally.
I enjoyed that match, the City Newcastle match. It's about the first game I've enjoyed watching in bloody ages. I thought Haaland and the Dan Burns battle was great, great to watch. They were probably going at it with each other. So that was the problem, though. He was being used just as a bit of a battering ram, wasn't he, in that match? And just try and get something, slip something through to Marmoush, or just have a physical battle rather than actually getting on the end of things. I love Pep saying that he didn't like his assist. Just like, don't want him doing that.
Well, you can't. You can be the best manager in the world, but to change Haaland from who he is going to be a tough job.
Yeah,
you can't. Player can't change the stripes that much. He is a goal scorer.
He tried to do it with Aguero, didn't he? I don't think he's going to be able to make. He's going to be able to turn Haaland into that sort of player. Just going back to Man United. I mean, you mentioned about Martinez and Yora coming in. I mean, the defence under Amorim again is a funny one. I mean, the goals conceded was 32. That was 14th in the league, but the expected goals conceded was 27.4, which was 5th best. So massively underperformed on the defensive data. A lot of that was Onana, wasn't it? And getting rid of him, and then what's his name?
Lemons.
Oh God. Lemons. I said it earlier. Yeah, Lemons coming in and taking a bit of time to bed in, which he absolutely has done now. Look at Carrick's run over the last sort of 4 games. 5 goals conceded. That's 4th best in the league, and the fixtures have been tough. I mean, Arsenal and City in that run. An XGC of 5.3. That's 3rd best in the league. So it's like it's a funny one because the XG numbers are down, but the goals are obviously flowing, and the XGC numbers are up, and the goals aren't going in. So he's doing he's made them more clinical, and he's made them concede less, which is a recipe for success.
Formation's a big part as well. Obviously, he's playing 4-2-3-1, so he's got Casemiro and Mainu in front of the back 4. Casemiro's been unbelievable since Carrick's come in, and Mainu's obviously there to keep possession as well. So I think that's made a massive difference. I mean, these were all a lot of the things that people were saying, why isn't Amorim seeing these? And obviously Amorim stuck to his guns and said, no, this is the way I want to play. And that ultimately is what saw him go. But yeah, I think from what we've seen, and like Lou said as well, this is data with City and Arsenal. We played against those two as well. I think this is probably what we're going to see until the end of the season, or there and thereabouts. Obviously, there might be a little bit of a dip at some point, but he's the interim manager that's come in. He's got to the end of the season, and he's come in and said, this guy thought you were all crap. I think you're really good. And he's picked them all up, and obviously they're doing very well. Yes, there's going to be dips. We're not going to go to the end of the season unbeaten. There's going to be games we lose, but if our data can consistently stay in the top 5, I think that's incredibly good. And can I just say as well, as a cheap asset, Maguire's been a good FPL asset for the random people that went for him.
Going to get his new contract, isn't he?
He's been good. He has been good. Yeah. And obviously we know he likes a set-piece goal, and we're good for set-pieces. So not an awful shout.
Yeah, I mean, the fixtures, you mentioned them before, but I mean, the fixtures are Palace at home, Newcastle away, Villa at home, Bournemouth away. That takes you up into 31 and then 32 Leeds at home, which looks quite good. Obviously, there's a lot of history between the two clubs, so you don't think you'd really fancy a clean sheet in that one. Then it's Chelsea away, Brentford, Liverpool, Sunderland away. There isn't, until between now and the end of the season, there just isn't really a good run for Man U in terms of defence. I wouldn't even be considering going for a defender.
I think I don't know whether I agree with that. I think all those home games up to 32 is fine. I think I could imagine clean sheets in those.
Palace, Villa, and Leeds.
Yeah, I could see clean sheets in those, definitely.
Okay. I can't.
Genuinely, I think I could, yeah. Bournemouth away, probably not. Bournemouth always do well against us. And Newcastle away, maybe not. But I think the home games would be all right.
Yeah. Well, Lou, would you buy a Man United defender at this point?
That's not what I said.
That's what you're implying. That's what you're implying.
No, but I like the signs of what he's doing, though. I think it makes sense to, take Bruno out of centre midfield where it was just catastrophic defensively anyway, to firm up the defence, and then you rely on. I mean, when you're relying on players like Cunha, Bruno, Mbomo to make something happen, they're good players to rely on for that, aren't they? They can pull something out of nowhere. So if you can get the defence sorted and the team sorted, probably pretty smart to do that, and then work on the attack later. And then obviously Sesko's playing well as well. So yeah, the signs are pretty good. We might all end up with a defender yet, as you never know.
God.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Maguire to get a 17-pointer.
Turn my season around. Maybe I should be looking at Harry. The third talking point is on value, and I think a lot of people are looking to bring in a value midfielder this week, right? Like Enzo is owned by a lot of people. and people looking to get rid. I think someone like Rice maybe looking at a downgrade. I know there will be people looking to move up to like a Wirtz or Semenyo or someone like that. But I think for a lot of people, they may be thinking of going down. And I think we've got a load of really, really good options. So I thought I'd grab some just over the season. These are some of the players I'm seeing people looking at. You've got Sharda and Dango, both at Brentford. Sharda's obviously $1 million more, but he scored a hat-trick, didn't he, before he got injured? No, before he got... What did he get? He got sent off. It's a hat-trick, sent off and then injured all in the space of a few weeks. Adley at Bournemouth is doing well recently. His underlying numbers are good. You've got Harry Wilson. Obviously got the DEFCON as well in the first half in the last game. And I mean, their fixture one is absolutely incredible. The next 4 for Fulham are about as good as it gets. They've got like West Ham, Burnley, Spurs.
All at
really,
home.
Really good run for him. All at home, absolutely. The best fixture in 31 as well. You got Tavernier, came off the bench. Obviously, we think he's on penalties. You got Stack scoring like that free kick, like he scored against Villa. You got Somerville, West Ham, who's been playing really well, and then you've got someone like Szoboszlai with the minutes and free kicks and things like that. So it's pick your poison, really. I think you can make a case really for any of these ones. I mean, if we have a look at the numbers over the last 6. Dango is top, 0.7. He seems to be the way I think a lot of people are going from what I'm reading on Twitter. I think he seems to be the favourite. You've got Rayan as well. Didn't mention him in the last table because obviously he hasn't played 6 games or enough games to feature in that table, but he's on there now. Adley, 0.5. Somerville, 0.46. Sharda's down to 0.43. Harry Wilson, 0.3. He hasn't got the best underlying numbers, but he has got different routes to points. And I stuck Elliot Anderson there as well. Like, why wouldn't you be considering him? And look at that XG not put up a 9 over the last 6, 0.25. Over the season, he's like 0.05 or something ridiculous like that. So he clearly is getting a bit more attacking. I think that's only going to improve over Pereira. I guess the question for you, Luke, is if you were to pick a player from this list in and around 6 to 7 million, who'd you go for?
I think it's really tricky because, to be honest, the one I really want is Tavernier. Like, he's the one I think stands out above them all, just because Bournemouth are just a great side for attacking output. I mean, you go look at the XG for team data across the season, you've obviously got the big teams that are there, and then you've got the likes of Bournemouth and Brighton, like the next couple of the teams. They're always exciting, they always go for goals. He's in the front 3, he takes some set pieces, and he's on penalties. So I just think out of all of them, he's got the most strings in his bow, and their games look quite exciting as well. I think they're quite end-to-end games, if you look at their fixtures, potentially anyway. I mean, they play that way anyway. So I think when it's all close, like, you can add that extra fun. I think it's more fun watching Bournemouth. And that's why I would just use that as an extra string in the bow to say, yeah.
So you're Tavernier over Rayan?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Rayan's looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, I looked a bit, when they first signed him, I looked him up and watched a couple of YouTube videos, and as usual, I thought, is this guy like the new Messi? Like, he's unbelievable. And I just wanted to see how does that transition to the Premier League. And so far, it seems bloody damn good. Can't think of a better team, really, for him to play in that way in. So
I think I love him.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. The problem we've got is, like, no one, as good as he's been, and I think even Bournemouth players are quite confident that he stays in. He is still a 19-year-old kid in his first season, and they have got a lot of options, haven't they? And Tavernier now comes back. So can you categorically sit here and say that he will definitely play all the games? Like, I still think it's probably too early to make that assumption. So because I'm just being risk-averse, I would probably rule him out for that reason. But having said Tavernier, I wouldn't pick him right now either because he's only just played 11 minutes off the bench, hasn't he? So it's kind of annoying. And therefore, I think I would just default at the moment to Harry Wilson. It's the most boring probably pick in the sense of he's probably just got the most nailed minutes from all the players, apart from Elliot Anderson, on the list in front of you. I think people have got this Diego Atara and Sade situation where obviously he didn't come straight back into the team. You've got Lewis Potter there as well. Can you be sure that they will play all the games? Like, they probably will, but you can't absolutely say. Whereas with Harry Wilson, it looks absolutely nailed on that he's going to play those games. Yeah. So that's probably the way I'd end up leaning. I don't feel great about it. But I don't think there's enough in it to say that he's way ahead of the others, though. So,
like I mentioned about Wilson, I mean, Tottenham at home, West Ham at home, 2 great home games, and Forest away. That looks pretty good as well. And then Burnley at home, and then it's rough from 32. But that's in and around the time we're going to be wildcarded, so you can just take him out. Where's your head going, Andy? You look at these fixtures, you look at those stats.
Yeah, I mean,
you're both getting rid of Enzo this week, I'm guessing, right?
No, not this. I'm probably going to roll, to be fair.
Gonna roll.
Roll and bench him probably. But
Roll on bench. Okay.
yeah.
I completely agree about Ryan. I think he's fantastic. I absolutely love him from an attacking sense, and he is, like we just said, he's 19 years old. He's raw and he just wants to attack. He's still got that naivety in him. You saw that a couple of weeks ago when he conceded the penalty. But what he can do from an attacking sense, that goal he almost scored this weekend was almost
Again.
goal of the season.
He just picks it up. And they can't get near him.
I think he's more secure than maybe we've said. I think there's no one else that's really going to play that wing role. I think Tavernier will come in. I think Krupi's going to be hurt by minutes. I think Evan Nilsson's kind of undroppable with how he gets everybody else involved. I think Adley's going to miss some as well because of that, even though he's been quite good. But I think Ryan's pretty good. I think the only reason I can see Ryan missing out is to protect him a bit, to be perfectly honest. Not because they want to rotate him out, just because he's going to be one of their most important players now. So, yeah, I feel like Krupi, it's why I sold Krupi last week for Thiago, was one, I wanted Thiago, but also I feel like, well, I thought Krupi was going to struggle for minutes and he played his first 90 last week, so maybe I'm making everything out of nothing. But, yeah, I think Tavernier, like Luke said, maybe is a week early, but obviously he's got penalties, takes set pieces. I think that's nice. I do think out of all of them, though, it's between Dango and Harry Wilson for me. The big thing with Harry Wilson is that game week 31 fixture. To have Burnley at home, the only thing is you don't have to buy him now. Like me and Luke just said, we're rolling this week. It's not till game week 31 that I will definitely want Harry Wilson. But he does have Spurs and West Ham at home before then as well. Dango, I've already got Thiago. I know you shouldn't worry about the double up, and obviously that's not had anything to do with it, but I just look, Brentford are just such a weird team at times. Like, look what happened against Brighton. They just as soon as you double up on them, they all of a sudden struggle. But then people did it earlier in the season and it paid rewards. So I think it's between Dango and Harry Wilson for me. But I think Harry Wilson's the big one for me, where I'm looking at it and just thinking those next 4 fixtures and that game week 31 fixture, it's probably best just to get him in now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my take on Rayan is, this is probably the best chance Bournemouth are going to have of Europe in a very long time. They're 8th in the league. They're 7 points behind Liverpool in 6th. They're 2 points behind Brentford in 7th. They surely are looking at. They've only lost 1 match in 9 games. They are, they're a really, really hard team to beat. They're picking up points against everyone. They've got, doesn't matter who they've lost this year. They've got a system that works, and they've got a player in who is scaring the absolute hell out of everyone they're playing against. So I know they've got options, but I would be very, very surprised if Rayan missed out in any of the games he's available for over the next 4 weeks, because I think they'll be looking at it and thinking, this is the time, before teams work him out or know what to do with him, this is our wild card who can just win us games on his own.
Well, I agree with what you're saying there, but we've been here so many times before where what we see with our eyes, we're not in the changing rooms, and it's just, he's still a kid. Like, he gave away the penalty the other day, like Andy said. Let's say he just has a stinker. Like, that can happen to anyone. You can be the best player in the world and come out and have a stinker. Let's say he goes and has a stinker next game week. Can you be sure he starts the next one? And you can't. I don't care who you are. Like, there's no way you can sit here and say, he is, when they've got the other picks that can come in. And that's my own worry. I don't think that will happen. I would be, 85 to 90% sure that he'll probably play all the games, which is probably enough for a lot of people. But when there's players that you can be 100% out of injury, why take the chance?
But is the only, out of the ones we haven't really mentioned, like Somervilles and Shardas. I guess we're putting them quite far down the list. But Dango isn't completely immune from the idea of being rested, is he? Because they've got Lewis Potter and they've got other players that can come in potentially.
Well, this is why I genuinely think that, I know it's a boring answer, but waiting a week will probably give us quite a few answers to some of those questions.
Yeah.
You get to see whether Sade and Otara will start and Lewis Potter's on the bench. You get to see who comes off first. It might not necessarily tell you the story of what's going to go forward, but at least tell you where they are in their fitness and who's preferred, maybe. You get to see how many minutes Tavernier gets. Wilson as well, he's a thing that we've had for Wilson in the past is his minutes have always been quite bad because he's quite injury prone as well. So if you're getting him in now for that Burnley fixture, yes, he's got the good games, but can you guarantee that he'll actually be in the team by that point?
Oh, you're so risk adverse, Luke.
No, but I know people don't want to hear it. But if you've got someone like Rice, right? Because a lot of people are looking at taking Rice out for one of these people. There is, just like Elliot Anderson down the bottom there in number 7. You just know that Rice and Anderson are going to get like decent points in all of these games, and they'll probably outscore 4 of the 6 or something like that.
And you have to be lucky that you've got the right two. So you can just put that decision off and then get the one closer when you know they're fit and they're available to play and you've got all the information. So I think that is the smarter way. But if you're going to buy one now, I'll go back to it. I think Wilson's probably just the safest pick.
So my issue is that I can't really afford to have these players ticking over with 4 or 5 points. I need big hauls. Like from my,
but Rice
from
can do
players.
it too. Rice can bang 2
he
goals.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he can. I mean, I'm not looking at selling Rice. He's not on my list. But I need to look at this list and think who is the most likely player to hit me a big score that can help propel me up the ranks a little bit. And for me, the two in that are Dango and Rayan. They're the two.
Not Sade. Sade's literally hit hat tricks.
Yeah, I mean he is. But I think from watching them, I think I prefer Dango with the fixtures they've got and the fact that Sade's. I feel like he's maybe more at risk. I mean, he was benched in the last game, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think when you get a stupid red card like that, and he's been rewarding form, his first game back, if you throw him straight back in, I think that kind of sends the wrong message. I think it's almost like you're not a guarantee in this team. Don't go out there and get red cards and mess up. Like, we can't afford to do that. Like, I've got good players. And he brought him on, and I think he did well when he came on. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't straight back in the team because I think he's their best attacker outside of
Do you think he's worth the 1 million more than Dango?
Well, possibly not, but does that matter? I mean, what are you going to use that million for before you wildcard?
No. Okay. I mean, the stats are better for Dango, like over the season.
Yeah, I think his minutes have historically been a little bit worse. I know they've been better recently. I mean, people say about Ramadan, is that going to have an effect on him? I don't know about that, but it seems unlikely given the timings around it. But
Yeah, true. I asked the.
I don't think you can go wrong though, can you? We can go wrong because you know whoever you pick will be the lowest scorer. But
of course I can go.
They're
wrong.
all good options, aren't they? And hence why we've got them up. And the fact that we have a conversation about them just shows you that I don't think anyone can be like, 100% this is the player to pick. And you'll see everyone in the community go different ways, which is a really nice thing to see, rather than everyone's just getting that player.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about Soboslai, but when we look at the projections from the models, I mean, I ran this through Review, Solio, Scout, and my own little transfer spreadsheet. You can see Review put Shada top, Dango, and then Soboslai. Solio loves Soboslai, always has done. It likes Elliot Allison second, and Shada. This is projected points over the next 6 weeks, and then Shada. Scout goes to Dango, Shada, and then Soboslai. And then if you look at the spreadsheet, it likes Dango first, Soboslai, and Rayan does appear on, my self-fulfilling prophecy that my own spreadsheet recommends the player that I really want this week. I'm between Rayan and Dango. They're the two that I like the look of. It's interesting that the models will go for Soboslai. I think that's because the minutes are so nailed with them and the free kicks and things like that. But again, it feels like for a 15, 16, 17 pointer, I just feel like one of the other options is better. It's just which one.
The fact you're wildcarding in 32 means you can dial the risk up. Like the variance you're going to get in 3 or 4 weeks is going to be crazy. Like I think if you were picking for the whole season, you'd pick someone like Soboslai, wouldn't you? But you're not.
You're picking for a run of fixtures in which Brentford, Bournemouth do have a very, very good run, and Fulham as well. Like you want to. I feel like this is the time I want to be getting in 2 of these players, just because I feel like if say I get in Dango and Rayan, or Dango and Wilson, and over the next 4 weeks they just do well. That's it. This 2.5 million could become 1 million. I feel like it's my only chance of getting into it, because once that goes, I've lost another window, and there's not many weeks left now. We're running into the last 10 weeks of the season.
So if you assume you're getting 2 of them, which one's the priority for this week?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? For this week, I think it has to be between Rayan or Tavernier, if you want to take that risk. But I don't think I do, given he's back from injury. It's between Rayan and Dango.
Yeah. What? You say that, Harry Wilson's got Spurs at home.
Well, I know. I mean, I keep thinking surely like Spurs are just going to turn it round. I mean, they are. We haven't really. They could have been a talking point for this episode, because I can't believe how much trouble they're in. I mean, I can believe it, but do you actually? They could get relegated, couldn't they? Like it actually could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
I look at their fixtures. I look at Forest. I look at West Ham, and I think one of those 2 teams could get out of this.
Yeah,
they're not that bad.
The reason why I think they could go down is I think they got it wrong with the interim manager. Yeah. I don't think they've got that right. I think they should have got in someone to, like we did with Carrot, someone to actually galvanise and set the defence up. Really,
Harry Redknapp.
Yeah,
Harry back.
I just don't think he's the man to do it. Basically, and everything that I've seen from him formation wise with the other clubs he's been at, I just don't see it working. I don't think he's going to have enough time to set up what he wants to set up either. So, yeah, I think they could. It's just whether West Ham are good enough to keep getting results, isn't it?
Well, I think if you're buying this week and you rule out any minutes concerns, because that's what you're saying you're doing, Daz, then you've got to get the guy playing Burnley, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're bottom of the league for expected goals conceded. I know they've looked a bit better recently, but they're already relegated, pretty much. And yeah, they're just miles below on XGC compared to any other team. So
Spurs are bottom for the last 6 though.
We're going to come to that in a sec. They sure are. Yeah, I mean, Dango's got the best stats and he's playing the worst team. That's what I like about him. Just quickly on Spurs, I mean, they've got Fulham away, Palace at home, and then Liverpool. They could conceivably get 1 point across those. I back Fulham to win that game. I back Liverpool to win that game. Palace won't be that easy. So they could get 1 point for the next 3. Then they got Forest in game week 31. I mean, that is as exciting as it gets in terms of relegation battle. And then they got Sunderland away, Brighton. They play Aston Villa away. They play Chelsea away. It's not a great end to the season for them. The key thing is, though, you mentioned West Ham. West Ham's next 4 are horrendous. Liverpool away, Fulham away, Man City, Aston Villa.
They could
get
Bournemouth.
0.
Yeah,
they did. They needed a point. So that could be the saving grace for Spurs. Even if they get through the next 4, and they don't do that well, I can conceivably see West Ham losing all those games as well.
Shall we just all agree to get one of them? We all get a different one. And then if Az gets the only one that doesn't haul, we know it's just not his season.
Cursed. We know he's cursed. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go. And you give me first pick. I'll have
you
Dango.
get first pick. Yeah, that's
Luke
fine.
gets Wilson, and you're gonna have to get.
I'll get Ryan.
Yeah.
Nice, done.
Yeah. Oh, how depressing. You mentioned Spurs over the last 6. Yes, they are bottom in terms of the defensive numbers. Actually, non-penalty conceded 90. I mean, that is horrendous viewing, isn't it, if you're a Spurs fan? 14 goals conceded. That's the most in the league. And actually, non-penalty conceded of 2.12. Expected to concede 2 goals a game. Obviously, they've got Romero coming back. That's a big boost for them. But you saw it with Van der Ven. Like, Tudor's shouting him to get up the pitch, and he's just like ambling along. Don't seem to show any desire, any fight. I don't like the Gallagher's. They've released that Gallagher's on like £220,000 a week or something, haven't they? They've broken the wage structure for him. He's been really poor since he's come into that side. And yeah, I think it's going to be really, really hard for them to together. I mean, they're below Wolves, and you mentioned Burnley. They're 18th, 1.69. Can you? By the way, we haven't even spoken about Chelsea. How worried were both of you going into that Burnley game with no Chelsea players to come away from that? No clean sheet, 1 goal for Pedro. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, that was poor. But yeah, nothing from Palmer. Pedro just the 1 goal. No clean sheet.
After 3 minutes, I was worried.
Yes, so was I.
He scored straight away. But the thing I love about that was, as soon as that happened, Pedro owners and Pedro captainers were like, "We've won this week. We've won this week," and then obviously he did nothing else. So it always happens like that.
They did still win because he scored Holland, didn't he?
Yeah, true. But no, who'd have said with those fixtures that Chelsea had? That just goes to show. We showed the data how many times for team defence, and Chelsea were so low in that, weren't they? And they were 18th, I think. They had 4 beautiful fixtures, didn't keep a clean sheet in one of them, and it's just. I bigged up Chalobah. I thought Chalobah was the pick for those 4 fixtures. I genuinely did, but obviously that's just how it works sometimes. Went O'Reilly instead. There you go.
Yeah, I mean he hit DEFCON. He's hit DEFCON like 8 times in a row, I think. Chalobah.
Yeah.
And then obviously didn't get it, missed out by 1 in that game. Yeah, I mean we called it on defence. I mean the play. We have to look back at the last few weeks and think we should have gone harder and more all in on that Chelsea attack. I look at that. I mean, the time when the good fixtures started, you had Palmer just coming back from injury. Yeah. You had Pedro's role not really too assured in the side. We all took the safest option, we thought, in Enzo with good underlying stats. But I think my biggest regret, this season, I mean, I've got a lot of regrets this season, but I think my biggest regret so far this season was not even potentially wildcarding into that great run of Chelsea games and just thinking, let's back. Because it was a ridiculously good run for them, 5-6 games in a row playing.
But only if you got Palmer and Pedro right. You could have easily wildcarded and not done that. I mean, I literally had the money for Palmer. I had it all saved and all planned in my planner for him. And then that week I got Enzo and had like 5 million in the bank, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it felt like a smart move, but obviously not.
Is Greg all right in the chat?
There's a lot of full stops, Greg.
Yeah.
Is everything okay? Have we said something particularly controversial that he's?
I'm
he's not,
trying to
he's
work
happy
out if
with?
it's like Morse code or something, and he's doing an SOS. But bless him.
Yeah, let us know what the dots are about, Greg.
He's just flatlined, isn't he?
We'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.G. Good. Over the season, then just look at some of the defensive numbers. I mean, Spurs are 17th. Obviously, the last 6 aren't really helping. That Arsenal still top, 0.68. You've got Burnley right down the bottom. Luke mentioned Django, Unchained, 1.72 for them is obviously incredibly low. And yeah, I mean, everything else is sort of as you expected. I mean, top 4: Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle. No real change there. Man United creeping up. You got Brentford in 6th. I mean, it was a weird game against Brighton. I mean, I thought we were absolutely exceptional in the first half, particularly, and then we did that classic thing where we just seemed to take our foot off the gas a little bit, and then they could have. I mean, I don't really know how Thiago's come away from that game without a goal. He had 2 really, really good chances. Brugge obviously made a great save at the end. You think it was just a bit of an off day for Brentford, and they're gonna kick on again, but yeah,
We should have scored against Arsenal as well, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it just happens
Yeah.
that way.
Yep. Attack over the last 6. Burnley are bottom, so they are playing, Brentford, who we just talked about, with decent underlying numbers, and they've obviously been really poor in attack. You've got Wolves in 19th, Sunderland in 18th. Look at us, Brighton down in 17th. We are really struggling to create chances. Not only do we not have anyone clinical in the side that can actually finish the bloody things, we're also really struggling to create, which is quite unlike us. Normally we feature really high on this, and then we underperform. But
Well, Minty's just been permanently banned from the team, hasn't he? Which is
he has, yeah. Whether that's injury or whether that's something else, like looking for a move. I mean, Gomez has been playing really well, all season. One of our best players. But I did the Forest pod this morning with Matt, and so we're playing Forest at the weekend. He was asking, how I feel about Brighton, and it's really funny with us because we, like, Hertzler will the Brentford game was key. I think if we'd lost to Brentford and lost to Forest, I think Hertzler might have been in a bit of trouble. But I think we'll probably be fine now, and he'll probably get the end of the season. But our recruitment's been really poor. Our squad doesn't look great. We've got a lot of players who maybe are looking to leave, and maybe players that we should be looking to move on, like Matoma. Like, Matoma has not been back to his best since he came back from injury. You got Minter, you got Belabor. Van Heck's going to definitely attract some interest because he's probably been our best player. You've got Dunk leaving, you've got Welbeck leaving, I assume, or at least being bit part players next year. So it's a big window for us. There's all this excitement about your clubs and Man United, and you're going to win the league next year and all that. I think it's a big summer for Brian to make sure we stabilise ourselves. So yeah, hopefully we can do it. One thing I wanted to call here over the last 6 was Man City. They're in 8th. Had good fixtures as well. So not creating a huge amount of chance. Obviously still scoring goals and things like that. But we talked about O'Reilly's numbers, not crazy high. Man City's numbers, not crazy high. Do you think there's a risk, Luke, that obviously the system they're playing without the wingers, I mean, it's almost impossible to say because it's Man City, but they're a bit easier to play against at times?
I don't think easy. I think it's, if anything, it's the opposite. They've become more, a little bit more pragmatic, haven't they? The numbers haven't been great offensively the last 6, but yeah, they did play Man United in there. I think Doku...
over the season, they're third. It's 1.64 over the season, and it's 1.35 last 6, so it's dropped a little bit.
Well, there's probably 2 things behind that. Doku being out has been like the best attacker all season, to be honest, for creating chances. And then Cherky's not been starting as well, who's probably the most creative player, right? And then you've taken Foden out of the team as well. They've just definitely been more pragmatic. So yeah, I mean, that's another factor that people aren't really considering. I guess Doku's back soon, and he's literally played like every game he's been available for, and he's been Man City's best attacker probably up until his injury. So when he comes back in, already at the moment, you look at the system, you've got basically 3 attackers. You've obviously got Rodri, O'Reilly and Silva, and you've got the wing backs or the full backs. But up front, you've got Haaland, Semenyo and one other. And that one other position has changed like every week. Sometimes it's Marmouche. Sometimes it could be Reinders, could be Foden, could be anyone. When Doku comes back, if you say he's taking that and they're just going Doku, Semenyo, Haaland, maybe, but that's a lot of players to leave out, isn't it, every week? Cherky, Foden, Savio, Reinders.
It's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, if you're saying those other ones are nailed, so that can only surely lead you to the fact that Semenyo isn't surely quite nailed. Like right now, he's performing exactly how he wants him, but he's bringing him into the centre of the pitch. Not really his full game, I don't think.
So I'm not trying to scaremonger anyone, but I just think Semenyo's fine for now. But when Doku comes back, there suddenly has to be a little bit of a conversation, particularly past 32, where it might be you'll find a lot of people will wildcard into Semenyo, and he probably will be fine, but you can't be sure, I don't think, with all that number of players, right? I don't think you can sit there and say every week, definitely 100% he plays, because a lot of it depends on how well they perform. You know, we've all sat here at points in the season and said, oh yeah, Foden's nailed now. Well, he stopped performing, he come out of the team. You know, that's happened to so many players over the years. So when you're relying on the player to keep up his performance, to keep in the team, it's completely out of your control.
Do you remember when I said that Semenyo would play every minute, and you said he wouldn't? I'm paraphrasing.
What, for Man City?
Yeah.
No. That's not true. I'm not having that.
Yeah. I was like, Semenyo is going to play. He's good for his minutes, and you were like, not too sure.
I don't really remember that, but I'll let you
Back
have
me
it.
up, Andy. That happened, didn't it?
I plead the fifth, mate. I don't remember that.
Very safe, very sensible, very sensible. Yeah, I mean, when we've spoken about Semenyo, I mean, if we look at the last six, he's 20th for XG up at over 90, 0.41, good underlying stats, 3 goals and an assist. The focus is on O'Reilly at the moment. I mean, again, it's City have obviously got that expected blank coming up, but are we overlooking like Semenyo? I mean, and he's another one. Every week, I'm like, why haven't I got him?
Yeah. I said it on Late Tackle last week that as the weeks go on, it becomes less and less of an optimal move because of blank game week 31. And I think getting him a couple of weeks ago was the right time to get him, or obviously when he moved and people held on to him, it was great. But as the weeks go on, like I said, he's got 2 away games now. Yes, it's against Leeds and West Ham, but they are 2 away games. And he's got Forest, and he's obviously got the Newcastle game as well. And then he blanks in 31. So I'm looking at it thinking the next 4 weeks, you've got 3 games out of him. That's if he obviously plays all of those, which I'm expecting him to, but you know, Luke would know better than me. But I just think there's others now that I think I go for that have those fixtures in 31. Now, I think if you've got him, you obviously keep him and he's a fine hold. But yeah, I don't think I'd be buying him now. I mean, one player we haven't mentioned, and he's 5th on this table, is Wirtz. Obviously, Wirtz went out of the fixture because he got injured in the warm-up. But in terms of data and everything, I know he's not a pen taker, but I mean, we saw his importance for Liverpool against Forest because they just had no clue offensively, creatively what to do without him. And he's obviously so important to their team now. Would you be tempted, instead of going for one of these cheap midfielders, would you go up to someone like Wirtz instead? Because
remember when I was on the last time, Andy, and you said about Wirtz, and I said, I think you should get Wirtz, and you said you were really surprised by my answer. Like, I think a lot of people
I
had
knew he was
Wirtz
going to get
out.
injured. That's the thing.
Yeah, this season somehow you managed to get the luck. I think I'd get him in this week as well. I think definitely if they come out and said he's absolutely fit and firing, like he would maybe jump ahead of all of them. I think you've got
Top for fixtures.
And it's also the fact that if you don't end up wildcarding in 32 for whatever reason, he's probably like the one that you'd be happy to keep beyond a lot of the others.
Yeah, I guess the question with him is, I mean, we've got Ekitike, haven't we? All 3 of us. You haven't? Okay. I think if you haven't got Ekitike, I think it's an easy move. I think he would be definitely someone I'd be looking to prioritise. I think looking back on it, Andy, I think we probably wish we'd both just gone for Wirtz, right? When we made that move and, you know.
I mean, I did.
Transfers.
I had him and then got rid of him.
Did you? Yeah. Okay.
So I got rid of him because they had a really nice run about 7-8 weeks ago. They had like a nice run of 3 fixtures, didn't they? And I had him, got a goal, and then got rid of him. Can't remember who it was for now. Saka probably. And obviously did that move and was quite happy to move off him. But he seems to just be growing every week, doesn't he? And obviously he's now integral to the way Liverpool play. And like I said, against Forest, in his absence, his reputation grew, and I think he's looking good. But again, he's not on penalties. Ekitike's not on penalties either. Salah's looked poor, I would say. He's got some returns, but he's looked poor. He's 4th on this list, but I think if you just watching him, I don't think he's looked great. So yeah,
I mean, the nice thing about Wirtz that we say all the time is he gets 1 assist, 1 goal, and he's getting 3 bonus. Any attacking return is almost worth the extra because he does so much on the baseline bits, which is great. And Ekitike doesn't really have that, and he's a bit more. He's such a frustrating player, Ekitike, because it's there. Like, we'll look at his numbers in a minute. His numbers are so good when you watch him. He's so involved, but he just hasn't quite got that clinical
It's been a while. So, who are you describing now? Darwin Núñez or Ekitike?
Oh, no, it could be anyone, or any Brighton striker as well. Yeah, we're not going to compare Ekitike to.
No,
to
no,
Darwin Núñez.
I don't. No, I'm not
That
saying. I just we used to say that all the time about Darwin, didn't we?
I think
If
we
you
all
if
just
you were
have it.
picking one,
Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, if you were picking one right now out of Verts and Ekitike, though, who'd you go for?
Well, there's a lack of strikers, and it depends on your setup. So that's what
Well,
makes
you've
it.
got Thiago and Haaland, haven't you? Most of us do.
Yeah, I think there's more midfielders. So I think Ekitike, just because he's a forward, is more of a standout. There's not too many of them, but
Yeah.
I think Wirtz might be a slightly better asset maybe overall because I just don't like strikers. I just don't think they're worth their money generally at that price.
I like Verts, and I think actually everything Andy said, like he's missed that game because of injury, but I'm not worried about his minutes going forward because I think he
Well,
missed
what happens
out.
to Szoboszlai then? Szoboszlai is not going to play right back all the time. They get their right backs back. Szoboszlai goes into 10 maybe. Wirtz goes to left wing and then Gakpo comes out of the team. Is that what happens? But Slot loves Gakpo.
He loves Gakpo.
Yeah, he does. Fans don't, do they? Absolutely hate
No.
Gakpo. But yeah, you'd think so. I mean, Szoboszlai's the player of the year for them, isn't he?
Yeah,
Been
well, does Salah
unbelievable.
come out and Szoboszlai go right wing?
Yeah.
Seen
Don't
that
know.
before.
Yeah, if they were just faceless players, I think Salah would be the one coming out.
I think
well,
Wirtz,
Gakpo,
like,
actually.
I don't have any concerns over his minutes, but I don't think you can say that he won't get subbed off for like the last 10 minutes or whatever, which is what was happening at the beginning of the season as well.
I mean, he'll just play Szoboszlai like right back though, won't he?
Well, no, he won't when Frimpong's back and Gomez are back. He won't play him there.
You don't think?
No.
I think he's definitely ahead of Gomez or like Jones was playing there as well, wasn't he?
Or
Yeah,
Jones
certainly
will play
because
there
I've got
again, I
no
would have thought.
I just can't see. I think the only way he can play Szoboszlai and Verts and not play Szoboszlai right back is if he drops Gakpo.
Well, Szoboszlai can play deeper in midfield, but there's no doubt for me that they won't play Szoboszlai at right back unless they have to. They'll play either Gomez or Frimpong. When they're back, Frimpong will play, in my opinion.
Where is Frimpong?
He's just injured all the time, isn't he?
Yeah.
Shame. I thought he was going to be a really fun player.
I think we all have a natural bias in this situation to go for the bigger team, right? Even though Liverpool have been worse, like over the season than we expected, and it's only recently they've started to play a little bit better. They were horrendous last week, but it's because Wirtz. Is it the price? I don't know. Or is it because it's Liverpool? You just think because they've got that extended run, you can trust them more. That they're more likely to, because they're always favourites for every game, right? Like that they're going to play over this run. I presume they will be favourites. Whereas you look at the other teams and they might be, but it wouldn't be as big a margin. So I think, does that play in our mind? Just think, well, they're the better team. The better player is £100 million player, so he's going to do better. But does that matter for fantasy?
I think you can. There's more. I know it hasn't happened this season, but you just feel like there's more chance that Liverpool could play West Ham at home or Spurs at home or Wolves and just hit 4 or 5 goals,
Right.
as opposed to
Is
Fulham.
that right?
Is it? Well, is it? I mean, Fulham can score goals, particularly with the fixtures they've got. But if you were looking at a score, and you saw Fulham won 4-0, or you saw Liverpool 4-0, which one are you going to be more surprised at? It's even with Liverpool not having the best season. There's still probably 1 or 2 games they're going to have towards the end of this year where they hit 3 or 4 goals in a
Yeah,
match.
but
And if they do,
Brentford-
Verts is going to cash in, surely.
Probably, but I think Brentford attack's been really good, right? So would you be as surprised if they hit 3 or 4? I think they've done it a few times as well. So I don't know. But when it comes down to if you're wildcarding in 32, the money doesn't really make a difference. But otherwise, the difference between Wirtz and Atara for the money, probably Atara's just a better pick. But I think I'd edge towards Wirtz if he was available. Let's just hope that Slot says he's fully available because he's usually quite straightforward, isn't he?
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
deadline as well.
Right.
Would you move up, Andy? Would you like move your team around to incorporate a Verts? Or would you, or Semenyo, if you maybe want to go down that route?
I think structure is a big thing. Obviously, I've got Ekitike, Thiago, and Haaland. I don't think, unless I moved, I'm trying to think who I've got in midfield now. Bruno down to Verts. I obviously can't do it. I think it'd be a tough. I think those other midfielders are offering such good value in playing 31 that I just go there. But that's because of the structure of my team. So I think the only way you really get Verts is if you don't have Thiago and Ekitike, I guess, is if you've got that kind of 2 striker formation.
Yeah, I still like the cheapies. I still think there's one of these players that's gonna do well. Yeah, my plan was to get Verts, but I think the double up with Verts and Ekitike probably is a bit too much. even with the fixtures as good as they are. I'm happy just to stick with Ekitike and not worry about Wirtz and just go for someone else. Is there anyone else on this list that either of you want to call out? Obviously got the top 20 there. Elliot Anderson, like I mentioned, over the last 6, 0.25, 5.3 points a game. Though it's good. It's right up there with some of the best.
I mean, the player we probably should talk about very briefly is Palmer in terms of should you keep him now, because obviously he's had his fixture run, but he's still on penalties. He's third on this list in terms of XGI non-penalty per 90 over the last 6. Do you keep him, or is it an instant sell?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, if you're going to do it, you do it now, don't you? Because you send him for Arsenal away. Because I think even if you're looking at Aston Villa away, Newcastle and Everton, I know that those aren't the best fixtures on paper, but he can return in those 3 games. Like, they're not, he's not been at his best, but still, you could still back him to get something like that. I'd find it much harder to sell him ahead of any of those 3 games than I would against Arsenal. So he's got to look at it and think, what can you do with that money? The game in 31's all right. It's Everton away. It's not too bad. 10.6 million though. What can you do with that money? Can you sort out like a bench player? Like if you've got a Devaney or a Krupi or something like that, can you move that up to someone half decent to get you a better player in for 31?
Yeah,
you've got to be thinking about that as well. I think he's a sell personally. If I had him, I'd be looking to move him down.
I think I'd probably keep unless it's a combination move, like you say. Otherwise, what are you doing with the money?
Yeah.
It's like some people might be earmarked to swap to Salah with extra money, but I don't know whether they do that now or not.
Well, Salah isn't someone we've spoken about. I mean, he's 4th on the list, 0.62 of the last 6. One of his worst performances, I thought, against Forest. And he's had quite a few of those this season, but he looked really, really poor. Comes off, he's sort of laughing and joking around. Very different to how it was, a couple of months ago. I know Nightmare is probably listening, and he wildcarded last week, took out Munoz and Henderson. Absolute disaster on his wildcard. But his plan was, Palmer captain 1 week and then move him straight to Salah. And that was his way of differentiating and getting someone a bit different. He's gone Haalandless, for example, to be able to fund that. But I'd be looking at that now and thinking, Salah, I know it's good fixtures and things, but would you captain Salah, Andy, like in the next few weeks? Would you have the
if you went with Salah, you're getting him to captain him. I would say
you have to, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to. Would you feel
West Ham at home? You look at the projections. Look at the projections for this week. Liverpool are comfortably top for projected goals. I think it's 2.2, 2.3, something like that. So I think you'd have to. Personally, you'd have to bet that they get a penalty. I think that's not a bad shout if you got Salah. Yes, he hasn't been performing well, but he's still 4th on this list in terms of XGI non-penalty, and he hasn't really been getting penalties, has he? So yeah, I think if you get him, you captain him.
Come on, Luke. Tell me you're thinking of selling hard and getting Salah captain. Come on.
No, obviously wouldn't do the switch around now, but I think once you've done it, you do exactly like Andy says. I mean, it's fine for a different path. It's not like Haaland or Palmer or any other ones are terrifying every week anyway. Like, I think it's much of a muchness between those 3, to be honest. I think Haaland's probably the best, but I completely understand going down one of those different routes, especially if you're not ranked as high as you want to be, then it's a massive differential, isn't it? So yeah, it's potentially quite exciting. It's a fun way to play FPL over the next 3 or 4 weeks because Haaland's going to be heavily captained in those games as well. So you're going to be edge of the seat stuff. I think Anthony Gordon's another one that maybe you could look at as well that we haven't spoke about.
Oh, he was absolutely awful for me.
Sorry,
in the season.
Is this Champions League fantasy? What's going on here?
Yeah, you're both doing all right at that as well, aren't you?
He's been unreal in that. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people's captain when he scored like 4 goals.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I do like him as a bit of a differential just because, I mean, what's going on with Wissa? Because I know at the moment, Walter Mander's playing in like midfield and not even starting. But Wissa's back on the bench, I think, maybe this week. Or,
He's not even coming on. He's not coming off the bench. He hasn't played any minutes over the last 2 matches.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. But either way, I'd expect Anthony Gordon to play either as centre forward and left wing, and he's on penalties, right? And they've got some decent games. I think the game in 31 as well.
Ooh. He's getting sent off in that.
I knew you'd say that.
Sunderland at home.
I think Sunderland, the wheels are coming off. I think it'd be quite exciting to have him as a differential in that game as well.
Honestly, if I even consider bringing Gordon back in, just slap me.
You've got to get rid of the bias. So you've got to let it go. Whatever happened in the past, you've got to let it go.
He hasn't. He's
There's
scored
so
one
much that's happened in the past, though, Luke.
He scored one goal in the year, Luke. One goal in a year in the Premier
It
League.
doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. If he's got the data, he's got the minutes, he's got penalties, he's got good games, he can do well.
Oh God,
I think if you're on, I think
Az
if
is
you're
gonna
on
get
par,
No, I'm not going to get Anthony Gordon, and he's going to score back-to-back hat tricks, and I'll just delete my team if that happens. I can't do it to myself. I owned him. I had him for so long earlier in the season, and he blanked every week. Like
You said the same about Calvert-Lewin.
Don't.
yeah, well done, Andy.
God, I hate this
Well remembered.
season so much. So much pain.
And you stuck it out through all the banter and all the abuse.
I know, and I'm still here, just about. This is the midfielders over the season, just to show it really. I think we've covered most of the players I wanted to talk about. Added a few in here. I mean, Rice is 42nd over the season, 0.33. Each number per 90. Bruno G, 0.31. Interesting though, both of those have in the top 10 for FPL points per 90. So again, it just shows the stats aren't everything, because you've got players like that, doing really well. Tavernier, 52nd. Rogers, 53rd. Stack 54th, and my boy Elliot Anderson down in 95th. With a FPL points per 90 of 4.4, which is right up there with some of the top performing players in the league. You look at some of the numbers we're seeing. He actually owned under 90, which is normally the best metric for points. Someone like Gakpo, for example, 0.46, good numbers, 4.55 points per 90. Anderson's right up there with him, and you've got the security of minutes. So you got him. You don't need to risk it on some of these other players because you've got those guarantees. Looking at forwards, I mentioned Ekitike's good numbers, 0.82 XGI per 90 for him. That is a league high for all players. Pedro's just below him, 0.8. Not historically a player who's been putting in great XGI per 90, but he's right up there. And we mentioned Palmer, selling him. What about Pedro? If you got him, do you keep him?
I think so. I think if you've still got him, I think you keep him. Yeah, I think, 5 goals, 5 assists. He tends to love falling down in the area, and obviously Palmer then converts the penalties. But his XGI per 90 at 0.80 is pretty good. I just don't think he's a sell if you've got him. Obviously, I think you could potentially bench him this week against Arsenal away, worst fixture of the league, and then keep him, for the run moving forward, which is, like you said, what was it? Aston Villa away, that's not great, but Newcastle at home, and he plays in 31. So I think you probably keep him if you got him, because he's not worth a transfer out, basically.
I think what a lot of people do, Luke, is look at Thiago, though, right? If you didn't get Thiago this week against Brighton, you've got Pedro. You'd be looking at doing Pedro to Thiago, and that would be something I would definitely do.
Yeah. He's in the conversation. I mean, they're like gold dust, good forwards, aren't they? And Haaland, Ekitike, Thiago are quite comfortably the front three, I would say. And then João Pedro's probably in that fourth position. So, yeah, it's just like what Andy said. If you've got the transfers, then it makes sense fixture-wise. And if you don't have the transfers and you've got other concerns, then I think he's a fine hold.
Yeah, I would be getting rid. Take the points and run. Go for someone else. Over the season, Haaland 0.78. He is top. Where was Haaland over the last 6? 7th, 0.41. So that's been a quite a big drop off for him. He's still top over the season, 0.78. Ekitike 0.64. Pedro 0.54. So these numbers are definitely improving. I still think he's done. I mean, what about Gyökeres? He's the other one as well. A couple of goals for him. Havertz out, very much maligned in the team, but they got the blank, haven't they? So I guess we're not really thinking of going there. But
everyone's got 3 Arsenal anyway, haven't they? It's too much surgery.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, Chelsea, Brighton, Everton. I mean, maybe he comes into contention towards the end of the season. They got Newcastle at home, Fulham at home, West Ham away, then Burnley.
I think Calvert-Lewin's probably the other one, if you're going to go for anyone. Because they've got a nice game in 31 as well. And
Krupi's there as well. Krupi's there, but he's going up in price. I've got rid of him because I think he's more of a danger moving forward. But they've got the fixtures, haven't they?
I think with Tavernier back, he's definitely in danger.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going. I wouldn't be going Krupi. Calvert-Lewin, no.
I think Calvert-Lewin's a pretty decent pick. I mean, so much so that a lot of people are going to take, if they're wildcarded in 32, they might take a couple of punts in 31.
I can't believe people are saying Calvert-Lewin.
And when you look down the list of forwards
angry
that you could pick in 31, you can find something wrong with a lot of them. Like even if the fixture's good, like for example Aston Villa I think are they home to? I can't remember who they're home to. They're home to someone really good in 31.
In 31, West Ham.
Yeah, it's probably the standout fixture. But can you pick Watkins? Because you don't know. Do you know if Tammy Abraham's going to play?
No chance. No chance.
Can you go back on the last 6, by the way? Because there's a player we haven't mentioned who's 4th on this list, which is Raul Jimenez, on penalties. Scored a brace this weekend, got gorgeous fixtures like we just said, 3 home games in the next 4, and plays against Burnley in game week 31.
I've thought about him. The thing is Moon is right.
Is it? I don't know. I think Jimenez is obviously first choice, isn't he?
Like, I think Moon starts one of the next 3.
I don't know if he starts, but Jimenez came off at 60, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, obviously he's got penalties, but I bet you an awful lot of people get him in for 31.
Yeah, they might do, but it's exactly like I said. Like, there's a lot of strikers that are decent, but their minutes are slightly in question. Whereas with Calvert-Lewin, you can say his minutes are in question because the bloke might get injured, but if you take away the injury doubts, he's going to play, isn't he? And that seems to be like, do you actually play the games for 90 minutes and do you have penalties? Is like the key for the whole season, but particularly with forwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like the front 3 I've got in a way. Like with Ekitike, Haaland, and Thiago, it's very, very unlikely they're not going to play, right? Because Liverpool haven't got anyone else; they need to play him. Thiago, Brentford are pushing for Europe, and he's got 18 goals or whatever it is, and then obviously Haaland. So I like that 3. Everyone else feels like a little bit more of a risk, and unless it's Pedro for minutes, but hasn't got the pens or other things. I wish Ekitike had. If Ekitike had penalties, it'd be great, but he doesn't, and he's not getting them anytime soon. So no point in lamenting it. I mean, all the players we've talked about and all the different options and things, it is hard to know who is the player that's going to save my season. Who is the one option I'm going to bring
Where's
in?
Arias when you need him, eh?
Where can't win FPL with Arias. I can't even finish in the top 2 million without him.
I don't think this 3-week stretch is going to be what saves your season as.
No, you think it's going to be wildcard time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the 3 weeks that punishes me even more if O'Reilly's and Semenyo's and everyone else goes off and I haven't got any of them.
I just said it wasn't going to be the weeks that saved your season. I didn't say it wasn't going to drown you.
Have you sat down and made a conscious thought to what you want to do from this point going forward, though? As in, do you want to say, no, I'm going to be differential, I'm going to try everything I can to get in the top and it might go worse, or are you just going to play the field and probably coast home to like 1 million maybe, or whatever you might be able to get to?
It's a great question. I think
it's so sad.
I genuinely am sad. It's been really, really rough.
It feels really sad at the time, doesn't it? But that number sticks on... Some people care about it, don't they? And that number sticks on your history record forever. So people will sit here and go, I don't care anymore. I'm 2.5. I'm just going to have fun. And then suddenly it's like 3.8 million for you on the end. So which side are you sitting on? Are you going to go, I care about it?
What I've struggled with is, like, obviously I've been in like quite crappy positions like this before, and playing in the sort of sensible way, going with the data, looking at fixtures, all the normal stuff has normally worked. Like, I've normally had a couple of good weeks in a row where I've been like 2 million, I've got up to like 600k and being like, okay, now we can sort of kick on from there. I've never been in this position with like 10 weeks left where I'm literally running out of weeks to know what to do. So, you know, I'm looking at, like, I look at Rice and Anderson in my team. I know you said like they can score like loads of points, but realistically, they're probably just going to carry on with the 4s and the 5s. Maybe I should be thinking of getting rid of them and bringing in someone with more potential to get regular big hauls. But I look at my we'll come to my team in a minute. I look at my team and think it looks all right. Like I've said every week, I've got all the main players in there. They just don't seem to be delivering any points. So,
but if you really want to increase your variance, then you're going to have to pick different players. Yeah.
Well, the wild card will be different. The wild card in 32, I'm going to have to go away from all the same players that people are getting. It's just like this. It's this week. Like, I'm looking at all the same players as everyone else. Like, I'm looking at Dango, Rayan, and Wilson because they have got unbelievably good fixtures and good stats, and they're playing well. I can't. Who else is there?
A lot of people would say that it's still too early to go crazy, and just playing the optimal way from this position will get you the highest rank. So this is why I'm saying I'm throwing it over to you. Like, what are you made a decision which way you want to go yet?
Well, at the moment, I'm still trying to play sensibly and try and put myself into a position in 32, whatever I wildcard, which means I can have, 4 or 5 good weeks. And then I think like top 500k is probably the aim from this. That seems like a realistic target to get to from here. 100k is not going to happen. I mean, at the moment, if you offered me top million, I'd be tempted to take it.
I mean, top 500k. What are you behind me at the moment? 100.
100 points behind.
So you got it. So it's making up about that.
About 100 points. Everyone else. I know.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But I've got the chip. I've got the chips.
I mean,
Yeah,
so because you're going to be free hitting in the blank, I'm assuming.
In 31.
No, in the other blank.
No. Yeah.
So because I'm just thinking that's another
34.
week where you can't really differentiate against people because the pool is going to be so small.
Yeah. It's why the wild card is tempting this week, because it means I could, a lot of people are keeping on to like Timbers and Rices and players like that, and I could just get rid of them and go for like, instead of picking between Rayan, Dango, and Wilson, just get all three in.
I think wild card this week would be a mistake, personally.
Well, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
But a fun conversation nevertheless.
Well, it is tricky. I'm finding this season very difficult, and I'm finding what to do very difficult. And then I'm making moves like Verbruggen to Kelleher, so I'm clearly not.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly thinking straight. Have a look at my team in a minute. You can tell me what to do, and then I'll ignore it, and then you'll be right. That's what tends to happen. Let's look at some predictions for this week. It's a good round of games, actually. Quite looking forward to this weekend. And obviously, we get the next fixtures coming on Tuesday. Wolves Villa, the Midlands derby. I've gone for a 2-0 for Villa in this one. You've given Wolves a goal, Andy. 2-1. Luke, what do you reckon?
You wouldn't know because I never do them.
I know. Well, you got to do them live, fresh off the press.
Well, it seems like unbelievable to think that Aston Villa can actually score a goal at the moment when you've got Rodgers in your team. It just never seems to happen. I don't know.
I am worried about him this week.
He's just got the good games, and so he's going to keep him in, annoyingly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, looks about right. Aston Villa, maybe a draw. I think you're along the right lines.
If Rodgers was to blank again, that would be a bit of a disastrous run for him. Obviously, got the 10 points against Bournemouth, but other than that, it's been pretty stale.
Yeah,
we're
never
used
selling
to
him.
it, though, aren't we? We're used to it.
Yeah. I think he gets something in this one.
You're never selling him.
No. Bournemouth Sunderland, I've gone for a 2-0. Andy, you've gone for 2-1. Sunderland away, loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
Seems to be about
I think
right.
I think Xhaka will be back, which will make a big difference. Not away from home. They're always poor.
I think Luke's right, though. I think they're starting to suffer a bit. Teams have worked them out a bit more. I think they'll just... I think they're a good team to target between now and the end of the season.
Have you looked at their, I was looking the other day, XG open play for Sunderland. It's like
Yeah, they're bottom, aren't they?
it's like the same
Second
as
to bottom.
Burnley, yeah,
Yeah.
at the bottom. Yet they've got like 29 goals from about
Yep.
8 XG. But they did. I didn't watch the championship, but people
this
told
is
me
the
this is
moment
what they did in the championship as well.
Well, it's here. This includes set piece. Well, this is anything not penalty, but they're second from bottom over the season in terms of attack, 0.77
Well,
below Wolves.
It catches up eventually. That's all
Yep.
I'm going to say.
Yep. You reckon Bournemouth win this one?
Well, yeah, they should do, but their defence has been horrendous as well, hasn't it? So to predict a clean sheet's pretty brave. But I think they're a lot better at home. So I don't know. Yeah, probably goals in the game. That's all we can ever say when Bournemouth play.
Burnley Brentford, Andy. Not riding on this, especially if I bring in Dango and I've got the goalkeeper. Gone for a very pessimistic goal for Burnley. Probably scored quite early, but surely Brentford have enough to win this one. You've gone for a 2-0 in this.
I don't think Brentford are going to blow them away. We saw that with Chelsea. I don't think that's what's going to happen personally. So yeah, I think Brentford will win, but I've just gone 2-0. Just think it would be one of those standard. Yeah, walk away quite happy.
They have scored 4 goals a couple of times this season. They scored 4 against Bournemouth. They scored 4 away at Everton, which was quite surprising. Scored 3 against Burnley in the reverse leg. They've scored 3 against Newcastle, against Liverpool. So they are a team that can score multiple goals. I'm hoping it's this. Yeah, I'm hoping it's on. Be good to get if they can get a couple in this. Luke?
Yeah, I think the game should suit Brentford, right? Because Burnley, they've got to play for wins, haven't they? They've got to come out and play. So funny to say that for a Scott Parker team, but I mean they literally have to get 3 points in this game, like if they've got any chance. So yeah, could suit Brentford because I feel like that kind of game suits them. I feel like they could score more than 2. Yeah.
Yep. Liverpool West Ham. I've gone for 2-1. I'm really hoping that Van Dijk clean sheet goes, and you've gone for a 2-0. I'm surprised you're not thinking of using some transfers to bring in Van Dijk.
Who would I lose? I've got 0.5 in the bank. The only high high priced player I've got at the back is Gabriel. So all my others are cheap. Yeah, O'Reilly's the second highest, value player at the back. But no, Liverpool's defensive data is looking good. I'd love to own Van Dijk. I just, it's just how I've ended up.
Not tempted by like Enzo and Mukiele to like Van Dijk and so on?
Not for a hit, no.
Oh, you've only got one transfer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine. Yep. Who'd you bring in this week?
This week, I brought
Thiago,
in
Thiago,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Luke, Liverpool, West Ham?
Yeah, hopefully not hopefully, but I've got Van Dijk in this week, so I'd like to see the
Maybe.
clean sheet. But I had him for about 10 weeks before he did absolutely nothing before that, so I'll probably curse him for everyone, sorry.
Newcastle, Everton, I'm debating whether to play Tarkowski in this one. He's been rubbish since I bought him in. Absolutely bloody useless. You've got him as well, haven't you, Luke? He's on your...
I've had Ndiaye, Tarkowski and Keane.
Nice. Keane was a bloody legend for you.
He was, but over like the 12 weeks, apart from Keane's like couple of goals, it's been absolutely horrendous. Like Tarkowski's always getting like 9 defcons, and Ndiaye getting 11 as well. Like not even picking up the scraps with them. It's been so frustrating. I'm not playing. I'm probably going to end up playing Ndiaye this week, but I'm not playing Tarkowski, so I'm pretty sure he'll probably get defensive contributions this week. But I can't see him keeping a clean sheet.
I've owned Tarkowski for 8 weeks. His highest points in that time was 8 points away at Villa, and that's the game week I benched him. Thank you, Tarkowski. Thank you, James. I've gone for a 2-1 in this one, and you've gone for a 1-0. What do you reckon, Luke?
2-1. So seems about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one, Leeds City. This is a big game, especially considering at the moment I've only got one Man City player who I'm thinking of not captaining. So ideally, I'd like to keep the score down in this. I haven't predicted that though. I've gone for a 3-1 in this one. Andy, you've gone for a 2-1. I love Leeds versus Man City with Haaland. Just feels like such a anything could happen game, couldn't it? Like
he scored a brace against him last time, didn't he? I'm pretty sure
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he can get back to scored a brace.
No, he
It
didn't.
was a game where he was touted to do well and he did nothing.
Wasn't that the one where everyone triple captained him?
Oh God, yes, it was.
He blanked, didn't he?
Yes,
blanked.
it was. Foden did well.
Foden
That was the free hit week for everybody, wasn't it? Was it 17?
Yeah. No, it was 13. 17 he played West Ham and did really well in that. Because we captained him against Burnley and he got the last minute goals. And then a lot of people captained him against Leeds.
I did.
And then,
I feel like he has scored a brace versus Leeds in the past, though. Maybe I've just totally made that up. I'll have to look it up now.
I don't know why I thought that, but yeah.
He wouldn't have played against Leeds, has he?
Yeah.
When else would he play against Leeds? They haven't been up in the...
last time.
A couple of years ago, weren't they?
Yeah.
He has scored a brace against Leeds, but it was back in 22.
There you go.
That must be what I'm thinking. That's wild.
Yeah. Brighton Forest. I'm going to this game. I'll be there with Mark Sullens watching this. Like I said, I feel a lot more optimistic about Brighton. If we'd lost that game against Brentford and then we were going into this like relegation game, I would have been absolutely bricking it. But it should be a nice little piss up at the game with Mark now. I've gone for a 2-1 Brighton. I think we win this one. I think that result was really positive for us. There's going to be a lot of nerves, I think, from Forest. They'll come out and play though. Looks like Pereira's got them set up to have a go. Had a go against Liverpool, for example. They'll have a go against us, and I think that probably plays into our hands quite well. So I've gone for a 2-1 in that.
You know what we always say though, as soon as we predict Brighton to do well.
Well, I am the second worst predictor of Brighton in the Predictions League.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I think the only team that I'm worse at predicting is Everton for some reason. I think it's because I always give Everton a 1-0 win when they're at home, and they're rubbish at home, never win. So, yeah, sorry, Everton fans. Do you agree with that, Luke? Think Brighton win this one?
I hope Forest win because I hate Hertzler and I hate you as well.
Great.
I don't hate you.
Good to have you on, mate. Good to have you on.
No problem.
This is an interesting one for you, Andy. Fulham Spurs. You've gone for a 3-1.
Yeah.
3-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I have, yeah. I mean, they scored 3 goals away from home last week. Obviously, Mukiele went off injured, but I genuinely just think Spurs are spiralling. I think they're going to continue this week. So, yeah, I've gone 3-1.
And you're not bringing in Wilson?
No.
Wow.
I know.
Surprising.
Raul Jimenez hat-trick.
I've gone for a 1-0 Fulham in this one.
I hope you're right. I'm going to be playing Anderson, and although he gets the contributions, the clean sheets have been few and far between.
Spurs. I mean, one of my best friends is a Spurs fan, and he is not in a good way with things. And I just think I can't imagine that stadium. Imagine that stadium in the Championship. It's like unthinkable, but also really funny.
And that's what matters.
Like objectively funny. Manchester United Palace. I've gone for a 2-1, and you've gone for a 2-0 to Manchester United. I've got Munoz. Not sure whether to play him or not. Currently playing him. Lou, you've got Munoz as well. Are you playing him this week?
I have sold Munoz.
You sold him.
Thought you might have done.
For Van Dijk, yeah.
Yeah.
Good move.
He's one of my only differentials. I'm definitely keeping him, but that does sound like a pretty good move. You think Man U win this one comfortably?
I don't know about comfortable, but I mean, Palace have got a game. Are they playing tomorrow?
Yes, because Lacroix isn't back, is he? Or they're not sure.
Game tomorrow, game against Man U, and then another game on Tuesday, and then another game at the weekend. They've got no players.
Yeah, tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I think Man United, I know they were poor last week. They just come off of, 14 days or something break? Game to break him in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just feel like the fitness levels at Old Trafford, we should be able to get the result there. But
Yeah.
it's
That's my thinking with the Bruno captain.
yeah, maybe. But I don't know. Palace. I mean, Munoz, it doesn't matter. He could literally just run a marathon the day before and he'd still be bombing up and down, wouldn't he? So, no, they're still a tricky side, aren't they? They're still a good team, I think. So, it'd be tricky.
A tricky side that's going to be tricky.
Well, Glasner might not even be in charge then. You never know.
Well, that's true.
Got asked, didn't he, whether the next European game was going to be his last, and he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're not going to sack him. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay him
I
the rest of
give a
his.
They literally was. He just sat there and went, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, mate.
He's lost his mind, hasn't he? The last 6 months. Some of the things he said in press conference, like, I'm not good enough. Like the ball doesn't back me. He's tried everything he can to get sacked.
Yep.
I'd be
It's
really
a lot
annoyed
easier
if I was
getting
him as
sacked.
well.
Isn't it?
It's pretty unprofessional what he's doing, but at the same time, I do I do feel for
All
him.
the managers do it now, though, don't they? They act unprofessional and do that because then they get the payoff
Like
and get sacked.
3 months left on your contract, though. So how much are they going to pay him? Give him like 20 quid. And
Oh, you'd be
they don't-
surprised.
they don't
More
even
than
do
you've
that.
ever earned, mate.
Hey, don't bring my. Well, yeah, I mean that's fair, but
Yes.
well, all of us combined, I think. And finally, Arsenal v Chelsea. A nice game to wrap up the weekend. I've gone for a 2 on Arsenal. Andy, you've gone for a 2-0. That wouldn't be great considering I'm considering selling Timber.
Honestly, I think everybody's going to get rid of their Arsenal assets, and I think they're just going to walk out comfortably against Chelsea.
Timber has been another player which has been absolute disaster since I've owned him. And like just so horrendous. He
got an assist last week.
Oh yeah, great. 3 points. That's going to be the difference, isn't it? He got 24 points against Leeds in game week 2.
Game
11
week
points
2.
Let it
against-
go.
No,
Let it go, mate.
no.
Oh dear.
I only look back. I never look forward. That's the point of BlackBox, kind of.
I need to get Timber because he scored 24 points in game week 2.
Game week 2, yeah. Well, that was basically my thinking, and then since then he's done absolutely nothing for me. He's genuinely been one of the worst players I've owned all season because he's really expensive. He's blocked.
It's a
the
long
Defcon
list, mate.
defenders.
I can't keep up.
Yeah.
He is right up there. You wait till we do the proper autopsy at the end of the season. His name's
I can't
gonna be
wait.
mentioned.
You're going to write it all down. We're going to be like Ross in Friends. We're going to have to read it all overnight, fall asleep.
front and back.
Yeah, exactly.
Luke, do you think Arsenal win this one?
I'm with Andy. I think it would be a 1-0 or something.
I think we've gone the same results on every game, Andy.
I said this on Scoutcast last night. I think this could be a big week for points. I think there's a lot of strong teams going up against the teams down the bottom, and we haven't had this for a while. So I think this could be a big week.
Well, the thing is, we've gone the same results. You look at the predictions leaderboard. We're at 45 to 49%. So half of those results, which seem absolutely guaranteed, are not gonna come in. Given what we've seen previously in the season, you're in 4th in the predictions leaderboard. We've got Jobalob, who's overtaken Hesmo as the new leader, with 264 games predicted and 190 points. We've got Hesmo in 2nd. We've got Actor Jeff in 3rd. We missed FPL Mode in 4th. He didn't have a very good week last week. Just 4 points.
No, struggled. We're the only two that have done all the entries as well.
Hey, look at us. And where's Luke's now? I can't quite see it. Oh, must be a bit further down. Must be a bit further down the list. Tom Gall's in 5th, Silver and Gold in 6th, Doy in 7th. I'm in 8th. Keza's in 25th. Sorry, Keza 25 is in 9th, not 25th. And Richard Morris is in 10th. Really enjoying the Predictions League as always. We've also got the Goal Scorer Challenge as well, which is nice. Got a couple of goals in that already. Shout out to the actual creators of Goal Scorer Challenge because I absolutely love that game. But yeah, it's nice to have that built into the site and give that a bit of a fun with that one. No prize for that, just a bit of fun. Captains this week, we've talked about these quite at length. I've got Palmer in, I've got Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, Ekitike, and Thiago. You're both on Haaland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. I think I am going to go Bruno, just for someone a bit different. Haaland away. I think that he could easily get a brace or 3 goals against Leeds. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to back Bruno in that game. 5 consecutive home wins for Man United would be a record for Carrick if he gets it as well. Not sure those records ever matter, but he'll want it, and take one step closer to cutting that stupid bloke's hair.
Oh
I think everyone is hoping happens eventually because I can't keep.
It's either got to happen or we don't get close. That's the only 2 options really.
Yeah, when you hover around 3 or 4, it's like, oh god, his face is going to come up again. Yeah, bless him. Okay, let's take a look at my team. This is my team for the week. So I've got Keller in goal, Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, Tarkovsky, Bruno Fernandes captain, Rice, Anderson, Thiago, Haaland, and Ekitike. 1 free transfer because I did that stupid goalkeeper move last week. So my options, lads, you can tell me which one you'd go with, are Timber to Van Dijk. That's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Enzo to Dango.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben
Number 2.
Tarkovsky, I'm guessing.
Yeah, bench Tarkovsky. Or I do Timber to O'Reilly and Devaney, get rid of him, for Rayan. Got exact money for that.
And 2 free transfers.
Nope. Hit.
I don't think I'd do the hit.
Definitely not that one.
Not the hit.
I'd do either Timber to Van Dijk or I'd do Enzo to Dango personally.
I think it's going to be Enzo to Dango then.
Enzo to Wilson.
You do Enzo to Wilson.
Or Dango, yeah.
Optimal.
Not optimal, just safest.
Yeah. Well, let me know. I mean, the chat is... You're all bloody mental tonight. I don't know what the hell is going on with all these emojis that are happening. It's very strange.
What if he says Wirtz is fit? Can you afford Wirtz?
No.
Okay.
Not without a hit. I've got no money. I've got literally 0 in the bank. So it would have to be a hit. I could do Rice to Wirtz and then Enzo down to someone maybe. But
I don't think you should be doing hits, as.
No.
Have you looked at what your 31 team looks like if it goes the way that everyone expects, or at least Planet FPL?
Yeah,
James
of course I have. Yeah. That's why I felt like I was able to do the goalkeeper move, because I can still get a decent team out in 31 with the transfer.
Well, because Enzo's another player that plays in 31, right? That's what I'm getting at. So even with removing him, you'd still be fine.
Nah, still fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's three Arsenal and Munoz and Haaland, isn't it? So there's 5. So I just need to get rid of 2.
Yeah, but then if you were buying O'Reilly.
Yeah, but I'd be upgrading Devaney, who hasn't got a game.
Okay.
See, there's some thoughts. There's some thoughts going on.
But you're
here.
still leaving it with, if anything else happens, you'd be 1 player short, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's very much like if any of these players get injured, I'm screwed. Yeah. We're definitely on that. Yeah.
Because save's still an option, is it not? Is that not an option for you? And then
I'm not rolling. I need to. I can't be playing like Timber, Munoz, and Tarkovsky this week. I don't want to play any of them, but I am. I want to bench one of them. I want to just like if I go for Dango and he gets like 15 pointer, then it doesn't matter, does it? The 4 points is irrelevant.
You know what's going to happen this week, because I'm doing it as well. Enzo's going to score versus Arsenal.
Of course he is,
because he's going to be playing in that like dual 10 setup, right? Yeah. They're going to play Santos and Caicedo or James, 2 defensive midfielders, and he'll be playing like quite far forward. And you just know his stats have still been like all right. It's just Sod's law. This is FPL, and everyone sells him or benches him this week, and this is when it happens.
Of course it is. It's happened so many times this season. Yeah, I think that's pretty much locked on. Okay, well that was helpful. I think. Thank you, Andy. This is your team. Talk through it.
Yeah, Raya in goal. Got Hill, Gabriel, and O'Reilly at the back, which, to be fair, I'm quite happy with that defence. Rodgers, Rice, Anderson, and Bruno Fernandes in the middle with Ekatike, Haaland, and Thiago up top. And I'm almost certain I'm going to roll. To be fair, I think the team is fine. There's nothing. Obviously, it'd be nice to get a Wilson in or something like that. I'm going to keep Enzo. I think Enzo plays in 31, whereas Rice doesn't. I think it's Rice that will probably go. So I'll probably keep Enzo so he can play in 31 and then get one of Dango or Wilson as the weeks go on. But I think roll in this week, get a week's worth of information, get 2 free transfers. First time I'm going to have 2 free transfers for God knows how long. So yeah, I think the team's good enough to roll this week.
Hill was a good transfer for you as well.
Thank you.
An annoyingly good transfer.
Yeah, I got him at 3.9. He's 4.1 now.
I know. Yeah, he did well. Luke, talk us through it.
Yeah, he's you're Anderson's second bench, and he's in my starting 11, so that says a lot.
Not playing Tarkowski either.
No,
I don't want to.
no. My team looks okay this week. It's just 4 defenders never feels good, but I don't know. They seem to do all right defenders this year, don't they? So I think Ndai is my biggest problem this week. I can't see him doing anything, but he's going to play and he's on penalty, so I just have to hope, I guess. I still wouldn't. Would you guys play Enzo or Tarkowski over him? I suppose you wouldn't, would you?
No, I don't think so.
No. So I could make a transfer. I could bring in any of the midfielders we've discussed. Even I think I can still afford Wirtz as well, either for Enzo or Rice. So that's what I could end up doing. But like what Andy said and what I've been saying, I just think my team's good enough to save and get more information this week, and I can decide later. Rodgers as well. I really hope he actually does something. It would be nice.
Boring bastards. I can't believe you. I'm talking here. I am talking about how it's a crucial week and we go through all these players and everything, and you're both bloody rolling.
Well, don't invite me on again, mate. That's fine.
I won't. You insulted me. You've insulted.
I always do that.
The viewers.
The thing is, if I'm bringing in like Wilson this week, then I probably end up benching either Ndai or Anderson. And benching Anderson is like, well, Anderson's arguably as good as Wilson as a pick if I'm getting Wilson because it's home to Spurs. And it's like,
I just can't believe you're not tempted to do Enzo to Dango or Wilson and bench and die.
But he plays in 31, so although I could do it and I'd be exactly level with the amount of players, if anything goes wrong, I won't be. So having Enzo there as an option just gives me a security blanket.
Also,
unlike you, I don't want to chance my luck that someone doesn't get injured or something doesn't happen.
And Enzo's still got pen share. Like, Palmer's not exactly the fittest of blokes at the moment. If he misses any games between now and 31, Enzo's there playing in the 10 with penalties. I think he's a good hold, personally.
Yeah, I suppose.
He'll go on wildcard, but
I just think it's funny. You've been talking about Wilson all stream. He's got amazing fixtures, and I would be doing Enzo to Wilson in a heartbeat. But, you are probably about 90 points ahead of me, so... and it's probably for quite a good reason. And it's probably because you're holding transfers, and I'm not. I'm trying to force moves every week, which clearly has not been working.
You could roll this week, Az. You really could.
I'm not.
You could roll.
Might do another goalkeeper move.
Oh, God.
Black Box League. They've added these little icons. They've added little badges now to the. I don't know how I feel about it. It's a bit weird. Mark will be happy. Black Box League. We've got Henry Hun in first. We've got Alexander Lee in second. James Chapman in third. Tron Nordley in fourth. David Bellingham in fifth. Mark McAfee in sixth. Ruby Wahab in seventh. Reece Cook in eighth. Timothy Dewey in joint eighth. And then David Ogimini in 10th. 1,750 points. How many points? I've got 1,457. They're 300 points ahead of me.
Oh dear!
Absolutely outrageous. It's not that much better in the Patreon League either. Benjamin Lund is first, 1,666 points. Great season for him. Angus Chow is second. We've got Stuart Thompson in third. Kieran Scully in fourth. Paul Jacobs in fifth. Paul Norris in sixth. Caroline Owen in seventh. Ryan Mendelson in eighth. Doyen Kim who's shot up the board to ninth. And Simon Hesmo himself is in 10th. And thank you as always for all your support. Weirdest chat we've ever had, I think, in terms of the comments for this video. I don't know what you're all on tonight, posting all these emojis, but if that's what you want to do. The only one talking any sense in the chat has been AsV23, which, as he is on this stream, the voice of reason. So it's nice to have.
I think that comments thing's broken, by the way, because it's been flicking up that row and is nailed over and over and over.
That's because I've got it. That's because I've got it tagged because I don't want to click on any of the other comments. There you go. I'll click on As's. There you go. Because that's the only comment we've had in the last hour that hasn't been an emoji. And I refuse to show them on screen. And I couldn't get rid of it otherwise. That's the reason. Amazing stuff. Well, thank you both for joining me. It's been a pleasure. As always, thanks everyone for watching and listening. Make sure you drop us a like if you've enjoyed it.
And tune in tomorrow.
And tune in tomorrow, because I need to do your screen. Andy
Yes.
will be doing one of his trademarked solo. We need to think about getting you a graphic and stuff for that now, because we're billing as a late tackle, but maybe we need to get you a Q&A graphic set up. I'll have to think about that over the next few weeks.
Ask Andy. Something like that.
Ask Andy.
Yeah, that's definitely not been trademarked.
No,
Yeah.
let's definitely go for that. Well, like Let's Talk FPL or something like that. Would that
That's a
work?
good idea.
Yeah, thank you. Great stuff. Luke, good to have you on. As always, hope we get you on a bit more regularly before the end of the season. Have you on a few more times?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully I can get a few more points as well to cheer everyone up.
Not if you're rolling every week. Though. The next stream you come on, I'm forbidding you from rolling a transfer.
Okay.
Wildcard week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wildcard week's going to be good. Wildcard week's going to be good.
When we all
Lovely
pick the
stuff.
same team, yeah.
Yep. I promise you I won't. I promise I will be going.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Yeah.
We
We've
wait
got to
till
hold
we
him
get
to this,
to it.
Andy. We've got to hold him
Yeah.
to this.
Let's have a few beers and you can talk me into anything. I reckon.
Want to see triple
Should we
ups
do
in
that?
defence.
Have a few beers, build it on the night, and you can't change it.
Got to be done. Yeah. Just
Yes.
lock it in. Literally padlock
Yes.
emoji. Done.
Sounds great.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, gents. We'll be back. And blah, 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 blah. It's a midweek game, isn't it? I don't know what we're doing for BlackBox next week, but we'll have to think of something.
It's Tuesday deadline.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I'll do something on the Monday, just if anyone could join me. That'd be good. If not,
Yeah, I'm Scoutcast Monday, I think.
be me solo. Cool. Right, we'll see you then. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers,
Bye.
mate.
He knows.